Stocks back to the upside here this morning to kick things off in a brand new week where we get Tesla deliveries coming up later in the week, expected on Wednesday. Just reading through a couple of data points on that. Tesla expected to miss once again. We'll touch on that coming up here. As far as the overall market is concerned, context coming out of last week going to be key as we look towards possible new trade deals to come, or the possibility of some trade deals to come in the next few days or possibly even weeks here. That's a look at the Nasdaq right now. We're holding on to 551, 552 right now. Nice gap to the upside, extending that gain as we went into the close on Friday. A lot of buying came into play here. Yeah, a whole bunch of Fed speak to come coming up throughout the day today. We'll get Bostic, we'll get a few others, Goolsby included later in the day. Chicago PMI, the major data point here, coming at 9:45. Holiday shortened week, remember that as well. So volume could be a little bit on the light side as we head toward. I was also just checking the calendar here. We're right around the corner from earnings season starting once again. It just
already
comes back just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah.
No, this is the nature of this job,
Yeah.
though. Everything's super quick. You and I always talk about that. There's a lot to talk about today. Let's start off here with Canada pausing their digital service tax on the United States. That had been a major point of contention for Donald Trump. He did cancel all negotiations with the new trade deal that's being discussed right now between Canada and the United States until that tax was suspended. It has been. OpenAI basically looking at diversifying their chip game, Brendo. They're no longer just buying exclusively from NVIDIA. TPUs, a tensor processing unit out of Google for inferencing here. Palantir with another deal. And Tesla, oh yeah, they're delivering cars now autonomously.
I saw that
Fantastic
video.
Look there on X. That was quite...
First one ever.
And by the way, went on the highways, went on single lane roads.
No problem.
It navigated.
Didn't go on the wrong lane.
No.
Got to the right place. Delivered on its own.
Look good.
That's next level. Tesla, however, downside here to start things off so far this morning. We're chopping around. I mean, it's been a little bit of a volatile pre-market, but we'll see what happens. Again, deliveries expected coming up this week from Tesla as well. Bitcoin kind of hanging out here a little bit this morning, showing a little bit of relative strength versus some of the equity side. MicroStrategy I saw picking up a whole bunch more Bitcoin because that's what they do. What was it? Almost 5,000, 4,980 additional Bitcoin going into Michael Saylor's pockets over the past couple of weeks. So expect another offering here, I guess, for strategy in the next couple of days.
That and the amount of companies starting to copy him. It's not just GameStop anymore, Brenda. Every time we look, there's another company adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Feels like 2023 when everybody was including AI in their name.
Yeah. Raheem was telling me actually last time he was in. There's a little venture stock here in Toronto that's doing the same thing.
There you go.
So taking a page out of Michael Saylor's playbook. But anyway, Neil, with a couple of days off here today, Obi is in this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Obi. How are you doing today? This is green, but you can't really tell it's green probably, but we're ready for the green markets today.
Almost looks the same.
We had quite the rebalance there, it looked like, on Friday.
Oh boy. So
that was really fun. Did you do anything this weekend, or?
Sorry?
Any busy weekend this weekend or nothing? You didn't do too much?
Just chilled out.
All right. The weather was great though.
Yeah, the weather's good. A little humid. A little
was it a little? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the humidity is definitely a little there, but I think if you can get over that, it's not too bad.
Yeah,
but yeah, no,
pretty good.
How about you? Any plans?
Well, no, I went. I was golfing on Friday, and then we had 5 baseball games, and we lost in the championship game. But we had a great time. The girls were fantastic. We had a fantastic weekend. Saw the parents. Ate at the food court twice.
To the finals.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. We had to. We had games in between, so we had to go to the food court, and that was really fun. Watching 12 girls run around a mall's food court, and then they had to go to Sephora, so we might have to go to the LVMH stock today and make some of that money back. But no, that was fun. We had a great weekend. This is what summertime's all about.
Oh yeah.
You know, spending time with the family, getting out there, doing what's best. Today they're trying to go. Well, they are going to be going, so we had to pick up some memberships to Canada's Wonderland.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Has started.
Haven't been in the longest.
Baxter will be taking the 2 kids there, and they'll be doing that today. Not that bad. You know, we've never got passes before.
Okay. There was a time in my life.
But it's, you know how much it is? It's $125.
Damn.
For a season's pass.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
nothing.
if you go like twice, you've already paid off the ticket.
I'm not talking about the fast lane. I'm just talking about season's pass. Yeah.
Ramin saying to get the.
Now my kids can wait their ass in line. They don't need no fast pass. Then they can wait in line for 3 hours. I mean, honestly, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. I think the fast pass is like an extra $100 or something like that. I think.
And that's just for the day.
Yeah, but you get to go like butt in all the lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, today's going to be insane there.
Yeah, they've
like,
really
I
increased
told
their
them.
price. I remember last time I bought a season pass, it was like $80 or $90 or something. So inflation, I guess. But yeah, no, there was a time I think it was around high school where we would get season passes every single year, and I did that so many times I just got so tired of it, and I haven't been to Wonderland in many years, probably because of that. Because I'm like, I've seen so much. Like they'll bring in a ride, like a new ride every few years, and I think the last one that was new was the Behemoth when I went. And
they have
one more.
They have at least 4 more since then. Yeah, they have like Leviathan now.
Yeah,
they have
Leviathan,
something called some sort of thunder.
Yeah.
Something.
Okay.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
No, but anyways, we come in today and see Big Bear AI up again. So it's another small cap move. I mean, I remember last week we showed you guys this name. I've been talking about this name for a minute. So there it is, $6.30. Big Bear AI. Nice move to the high side there today. I see Oracle's trying to make some dancing moves here right now. Oracle in the filing. Oracle's off to a strong start in FY25. They just some sort of a note to shareholders here. Huge move up there for Oracle, going up 6 points right there, like bang, bang, so super quick now. Why did Uber just cross my path? No, maybe nothing. Okay, so, wow, oh yeah, Uber also rate. Oh no, that's, look, I type in Uber here, it doesn't change, and I'm like, Uber's at $200? No. Yeah, Uber is not doing anything. Okay, so, yeah, lots of fun there. Circle today, I know you guys have paid for some Circle shares to go short. Unidare looking at this one today as well. Circle had quite the move down. I mean, look, it's not rocket science. We've been, ever since we touched 300 and fell off, we were all like, this is a short, and this is a short. So there goes Circle back into the downside there again, and it's I think its home is here, 100. I think you can get 100 at some point there. And then the only stock I've written down, I have multiple ideas here, but I really like Amazon. I mean, they're not. The problem is we've had this little move down there that Brendan was just talking about, how it's been somewhat volatile here in the pre-market. And I think it's, we did have those huge moves there in the imbalances. I was watching from home. I actually picked up some Palantir shares in sort of the swing account, just at 131, because I couldn't believe that move down that Palantir had there on Friday. So I was just sitting there at home, and I know you and Neil were just kind of watching this play out, but I sat there and bought a little bit thinking that I could probably flip it this morning. And, even into here at 136, it's not worth it. I didn't put enough money in to just flip it for $5. But, we add to our Palantir position a little bit there. We got some out at 140 and, to buy some back there at 131. The thing is, Palantir is a very volatile name. And I was saying to Obi, it's not one of those things where you just load in and buy, a huge amount down there, because if today's market opened up lower, then I think Palantir probably hits the dirt a little bit there. But we had a nice recovery in the aftermarket as well for PLTR. So, with news of more contracts and whatnot today, I'm pretty excited to trade Palantir. I just got to find the right spot. And then your Toronto Blue Jays today, I believe it's today or it starts this weekend anyways, like this July 4th, against the New York Yankees. Okay. And they're only 3 games back, I believe, of New York right now for the AL East, and nobody would have thought that on June 30th. So we're really happy for the Leafs, or the Leafs, and the Leafs actually. Leafs had great news this weekend, but for the Blue Jays as well. So yay sports.
Go sports, yeah. Shout out to the Jays.
As Obi says.
No, I think Palantir's a great watch with the kind of action that it had. But I like Google and Amazon as well. You can see that. Yo, what's up, Randy?
Hey, what's going on, my guy? How's it going, Randy?
Thank you very much.
Are things going dandy, or? Oh, I like the shirt. No, the shirt matches the color of your arms, bro. Look at that. Nice. All right, Randy. That's a new T-shirt. The wife bought that shirt for you for sure. Yes. Nice. All right, looking sharp there, Randy. I'm excited for you for some reason. Yeah, I just had one, but I still have. That's the beauty of the Yeti.
Yeah, it'll hold.
Look at screen. Okay. I was saying that about Oracle. Am I looking at screen for Oracle?
Yeah.
Okay, breaking news. Oracle is off to strong start. Oh, the chart. Yeah, we did. I did call up Oracle, didn't I? ORCL. I'm hearing my ear look at screen. So, yeah, there it goes. Oracle up 7%. Yeah. No, that was what I was talking about. They had that memo going out there. But I think that's, anyways, that news, I think, can we put that back up? Because I think that's awesome that we can do things like that. Like, we'll be throwing up stories as they come up, and there we go, right? And so, yeah, thanks for bringing that part up to us. But multi-cloud database revenue continues to grow. So Oracle, nice to the upside right there. You know, some other names that were getting some bumps on that news. We'll look to see. We had a bank stress test also on Friday. All the banks passed the stress tests in the aftermarket there on Friday. So we'll look to see some buybacks. Now they can announce buybacks. So I'm thinking that JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, all the big ones potentially are going to be announcing some buybacks coming up pretty soon. So yeah, look, it's a big move up there for Oracle, but look what the Nasdaq's doing, a nice little pullback in right there right now. Okay, so I'm going to start going on some notes here. Obi, is there one particular stock you're looking at besides Oracle now?
Yeah, I mean, well, you pulled up Oracle, and I'm like, I wanted to look back. This is a weekly chart. Look how strong this thing has been on the weekly, and yeah, this is already adjusted, but you can see very, very aggressively strong chart on the weekly and pushing fresh highs on that news, 225.70s. So definitely going to be on my watch list now, coming in off of the open, probably one of the more top names because it is one of the freshest pieces of news. But other than that, I think, Sean, Google and Amazon, going back to kind of what I was saying before, aggressive kind of imbalances that we had, and aggressive action as well to follow through with that. We're getting that continuation in the pre-market with that market gap up, and you can see so far Google's been holding its VWAP pretty well here. I got eyes on Amazon as well. Amazon not really holding its VWAP as well as support, but maybe pulling back into some of that overextension that we did get going into the close on Friday. So I'll be watching those two names. Thank you very much, Randy.
Yeah.
Be watching those two names for sure. And yeah, let's see what Oracle has in store for us, because I think some fresh news. I'm always down for some fresh news to see where that'll bring us. And all-time highs. The market's also pushing all-time highs, so we have strong confluence on that one as well. And I'm sure some of that buying pressure coming in due to some of those reasons as well. But we'll see if there's continuation off the open. Extremely strong stocks in action for sure.
All right, I believe we have another strong individual that has a lot of action plays and a lot of ideas for us. Coming weekly, coming twice a week. One of the best friends, good friends, best friends. Yeah, why not best friends? We're in a best friend moment here today. It's fantastic. And I hope the weather's doing great out east for our good friend Michael Noss from Stats Edge. So let's go throw over to the desk and find out what's happening with Mr. Noss.
We'll get to Mr. Noss here in a second. I was just noting, guys, Apple downside a little bit. There's a budget, quote unquote, budget MacBook that's been announced. That was a little while ago, 20 minutes or so ago, but Apple downside a little bit on that, just be aware, versus the overall market. But anyway, as we said, yeah, let's kick things off with Michael Noss on a Monday, as we always do, to have a look at, I'll be completely honest with you, Michael Noss. We touched on this a little bit back on Friday, but I opened your email for the very first time seconds ago. So lead us here and let us know what we're touching on.
Yeah, absolutely. So yesterday or Friday, we talked about, hey, the market's at all-time highs. You know, this is obviously a bullish thing. And you just kind of mentioned, and I've gotten a lot of feedback, just traders throughout the years, about being uncomfortable buying new all-time highs. So as always, I'm going to try to convince you guys that buying strength is better than buying weakness. So the way I look at it is that if I can prove this with data, maybe it'll make you feel a little better.
Yeah,
probably not entirely, but maybe a little bit. So this first chart is just a very simple back test that I ran on the Russell 3000. So that's like 97% of the tradable universe. What happens if you just buy stocks that have not been at all-time highs for around a year, then they break all-time highs. That's the only requirement. So under all-time highs for a while, now breaking all-time highs. What if you just buy them there and then you hold them for roughly a year and then sell them? You can see a very unrefined equity curve, but an equity curve nonetheless, and moving in the right direction. So you can see that this could be a premise for a potential strategy. That's what we do over at Stats Edge, right? Is we build systems and we let those systems guide our decision. but again, not something I would trade, but shows the line goes up, and that's what we want. It's over time, the line goes up. This next chart is what happens if you do the exact opposite, but you're buying all-time lows. You can see, regardless of where I started the back test from, I tried a couple different places. The equity curve goes to zero pretty quickly, pretty much all the time. Any sort of bear market wipes that out. The idea is that if you're buying stocks that are hitting all-time lows, they're doing it for a reason. And if you're buying stocks that are hitting all-time highs, they're doing that for a reason. So as someone who is a technical analyst and is trying to avoid fundamentals, just hitting new all-time highs ends up being something that's interesting. So I just brought some examples of stocks that we all know and what would have happened if you'd done each of these. And the first one here is AMC. And you can see all the all-time lows that happened, right? That purple line is the all-time lows. If every time it hit an all-time low, if you bought, you started buying around 10, and then you would have bought around 7, you would have bought around 5, and then you would have bought around 3. Maybe that was the low for a while. Maybe you can get a little bit of a bounce from there. But you can see, again, buying all-time lows, generally not really that fun. And then we talk about NVIDIA. And let's say you missed a lot of the big moves in NVIDIA. Say you missed a lot of them, right? You only started buying in 2024, which is the third arrow from the left there. Still a good trade, just buying these all-time highs, right? There might be once or twice that I pointed out there that would have pulled back and cost you a bit, because again, it's not 100% strategy. I don't even think it's going to be a 50-50 strategy. But when you're hitting all-time highs, it means the company or the market is valuing your company and saying, hey, this is now worth more than it's ever been. And generally speaking, that's not going to be the exact top of the company when it hits all-time highs. You can see, again, a lot of moves here as well. So the next chart is just zoomed in on NVIDIA. You can see, like we talked about on Friday, a whole bunch of names hitting all-time highs. NVIDIA was one of them. The names that I brought you guys on Friday were really random ones to show you guys that it's not just big cap tech, but a lot of names were hitting all-time highs. So the question is, right, if we remember that big chart of every time we bought an all-time high in NVIDIA was a good thing, is this going to be any different? Again, we don't know, but we know it's way better than waiting for it to hit potential all-time lows and trying to buy it there. Last but not least is just the S&P 500. Again, we're hitting new all-time highs. We're up a little bit this morning. So the question is this going to carry that first chart of potentially buying new all-time highs, or the second buying new all-time lows? Again, I know it's not comfortable. We are programmed as kind of investors and as humans that we're looking for deals. We're looking for things to move lower before we can buy them, right? It's just programmed in, whether you're buying a car or a sandwich or whatever. If there's one that's $1 cheaper, you'll probably reach for that one. However, when it comes to the market, an overwhelming demand for your stock, which is what will cause it to hit an all-time high, can't be a bad thing. So it's hard, it's uncomfortable, but in my opinion, it's definitely the way to go.
So here's the next step in this, I think, which again, a lot of people might have this issue included. When you follow plan number 2 and you're maybe even just adding, on each one of those breakouts, add a little bit more, add a little bit more, add a little bit more. The next time we get back to all-time highs, whether it's the market or whether it's an individual position, a lot of people have the tendency to want to take some and say, okay, we got to where we've never been before, I'm well in the money. I really, really, really want to take some. If there's data maybe that we could look at where it shows the difference between, do we take a little bit off, do we take it all off at all-time highs, or we just continue holding the position forever and ever without any sort of profit taking throughout the process? What does that look like in the end?
Yeah, you've had me at data, so I'll definitely take a look at it. But what I have found in most, if not all, trend following strategies out there, which again, buying new all-time highs is by definition a trend following strategy because you're buying it as it's going up. Generally speaking, profit targets or taking some or selling some when it's just moving in the long run is not the move. It's some sort of trailing stop metric, whether that's kind of ATR based or moving average or just, if it breaks a 20-day low or something like that. Generally speaking, that that's going to be the best move. But what I'll do is I'll take that all-time high break chart and I'll just apply a bunch of different trailing or a bunch of different exit methods to it, and I'll bring that to you guys on Friday, and we'll keep going down this this all-time high rabbit hole until I convince you, Brendan, and then in turn hopefully a bunch of the audience.
No, and it's one of those things, right? When volatility drops and there isn't the crazy scariness that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, these are the type of things that you should be looking at to understand a little bit more how you can optimize further.
Yeah, you want to get the plan now when everything's calm, because we know that at some point there's been like 5 bear markets in the last 5 years. It's been a lot. So it's going to happen again. We have an administration that we could say is volatile, one is a way to put it, where there could be more tariffs. There could be more of the things that started the bear market to begin with. So we want to take every eye of the storm, every calm moment. You want to build your plan so that when things go crazy, you have a plan in order to rely on. And that really helped me out, is having these systems that we do over at Sets at Trading. So even though the world was kind of going a bit crazy, I could just come in every day. I could look at what my systems are telling me to do and just do that, knowing in the long run that it would end up working out. Great stuff. Michael Noss back with Joe. Joe's on the recap tonight at 4 o'clock. We'll see you then. Awesome. Talk to you then.
Yeah, we've often, thanks, Michael. We've often talked about that, and that was buying those all-time highs. And there was, in the S&P 500, I talked about this.
See you guys.
See you, Michael. Last couple weeks, months, years, that I had read a study, the same thing, that if you always bought at all-time highs, you'd actually be better off doing that than buying like the 31st of every, or like it's not the 31st of every month, that doesn't exist, but the 25th of every month, something like that. Just arbitrary day, yeah. And but dollar cost averaging, it's all the same thing. It's just a matter of when do you push the button, right? And I think that exactly what Brendan was bringing up, and then Michael countered and everything like that, is psychological. Like, you don't want to do that. I remember when someone, and this was way back in the day, this was pre-NVIDIA going crazy. He had mentioned to me, I said, I just bought NVIDIA, breaking through that $100 mark. It went to 2,300, right? Or whatever it split at. And it was like, are you crazy? Like, why would you buy NVIDIA at $100 when it had just come from 30 or whatever it was? But it's working. The stocks are working. And it's like, once you get to those levels and you can get through your head that, hey, the best thing to do is buying strong names in strong bull markets will create forward moves. I find like my worst, basically the only trades that I've screwed up, that weren't, there's been lots, but in my longer term portfolios, it was marijuana stocks, because you get excited about buying those things because you get like a little bit of FOMO. This is the next big thing. And I just looked back and I said, let's just say I dropped 50 grand, which is evaporated. If I put that 50 grand into the S&P 500 or into a Nasdaq 100 stock or something like that 8 years ago, when we were throwing money into these cannabis names, then you would be right now 4x or thanks for saying more, Obi. That makes me feel so much better. But yeah, at the end of the day, those are the decisions that all traders have to make, and it's tough. And we've all lost money on garbage stocks, and we've all made. Well, maybe not all of us, but most people that trade these names make money on them, lose money on them, and that's is what it is. But I think for a strategy like what Michael was just talking about, that works great for the market. Buying the highs for indexes that you believe in are great plans. Like, why is XLF at all-time highs? Because the banks are working. Like, that sector is working. Why when uranium was breaking through $15 or whatever it was on URA, why was that a great trade? Because it was working. Yeah. And I think when you buy the index, you take away that single stock risk. Obviously, I'm not saying anything that people don't know. So yeah, thanks, Michael, for bringing that up and giving us maybe the courage to do more buying in ideal times that we feel are necessary. So yeah,
I think that's definitely more than valid. It goes back to the point, like we always say this, sure, it's cliche, but the trend is your friend. And what more to confirm the trend than fresh highs, being like, all right, we're going to continue doing more of the same, which is print fresh highs. And that's, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I was going to say, I even think that that's been working for the notes. Like I look back and I try to review like the sticky notes. What was I talking about last week? What was I doing? And it's like most of the names we're talking about are names that are having
over and over again.
Yeah, they're positive stories. Yeah. They're having continuation, right? Like, and we got to go to Adair because we do have lots to cover here, and I don't want to keep this for too long. But just because Michael was talking about a little bit of Nvidia there, like. Once it broke that high, you know, then it's just like, okay, you can go with it until even it comes back and retests whatever that next support level is, you know, and you may get a $20 run when your risk was maybe $4 or $5, you know, and I just think like one story begets another story, and it just keeps going. And this is when you're in a bull market. And the same thing is true. Like remember when it was in April when we had those tariff moves, and it was the same thing. It's like we couldn't get away, and this is going to collapse my chart probably because we have the split there. But back in March and April, it's like the stories were just coming out like day after day, and it was like you couldn't get a positive story on anything. China's doing this, and then you don't want to go long. Then the next day was something else, and then something else, and then eventually the positivity outweighs everything, and there goes Nvidia up to 160. So there's lots of these names around, but okay. A lot of swing trading ideas with that kind of a strategy, right? So I mean, it's just like I was saying to Obi, I bought Palantir at 131. On Friday. I think I was telling you guys too. And it's just like, you know, you buy when stocks are on sale and you hope that they go back to regular price at some point. All right, Adara over now at the screen. Let's find out some upgrades and downgrades.
Pretty stacked list today, especially in the upgrade side of things, starting with Disney. Getting a positive note here from Jefferies, $144 price target. Oracle, nicely to the upside, already at $225, I believe, with a little catalyst here, but price target of $250 and an upgrade from Stifel to boot. This would certainly be a name to watch. CRCL, Circle has been another name to watch as of late. This one here getting a positive note from Needham, but it's also had some negative notes as well from JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. You can read all about this on our Trader TV Live watch list. Medtronic here rounding out the upgrade side of things with a positive note from Wolf Research. Kick off the downgrades here, we have Rocket Lab up on the day, but getting a downgrade from Goldman Sachs. Compass getting downgraded here by BTIG Research. Goldman Sachs here downgrading these last two names as well, Galactic and Planet. So keep an eye on these tickers. All of these downgrades names actually green on the day, but getting some negative analyst feedback. Back to you.
Yeah, no.
But take it. I mean, you already had Rocket Lab up, so why don't we?
I got Rocket Lab up. The first thing I did, I was like, all right, I know they've been running. They've been in the news over the past week or so. They hit some fresh highs, and I just want to see if there's going to be continuation with a little bit of a downgrade as it pushes some fresh prices. Could be interesting here. But last week we got that aggressive push on Thursday, bit of a sideways consolidation, but holding pretty well here. Again, right under all-time highs. 37.66 is currently trading at 36.74s. But yeah, this consolidation a little bit higher along with the rest of the market. I really like that as well. I'll be watching for a little bit of continuation, maybe an alert near some of those highs to see if it actually catches that momentum and continuation push to the upside. This little double bottom I'm liking as well. You can see that after that aggressive push, every time we kind of got back to 35, which was twice last week, we kind of bid up a little bit there. So this 35 is going to be interesting, as well as that 37.66 is definitely an in-play name when it comes to maybe not necessarily intraday. There's definitely going to be intraday opportunities, but a bigger picture kind of a trade going on here with Rocket Lab. So I do have eyes on it in a bigger picture perspective, but I think I might put on some alerts to see if we can get some intraday opportunities as well on this one.
Yeah, let us know if you're enjoying so far this morning. Obi and I are going to be taking you through until 11, joined by Joe and Sharif at that point. We have Adara on the news desk all throughout the day. And then, of course, you know, both of us throwing down some trades and some ideas. So, you know, hit the like button. Let us know in the chat if you appreciate all. And I apologize, man. I was at 5 games this weekend, yelling and screaming. And I actually got my first warning from an umpire.
Oh, no way.
Well, I didn't like the balls and strikes, you know? I mean, I didn't think that they were favorable for my team, you know?
Yeah.
So I had a little discussion with him. I called some timeouts, you know. In between innings, I had discussions with him and just talking about, like, you know, if it's not a strike here and then we're down 6 inches from there, 12 inches, then is that a strike, you know? And we were talking all about that kind of stuff. And I felt like, you know, my girls are working hard out there. It's warm out. They're throwing all these pitches. We got pitch count limits. You know, you can only throw a certain amount of pitches per game. So when he's not giving us the calls, you know, I told the girls I'm going to have their back. Nice. So I was really nice about it. Everything was fine. But then he goes, Coach, all right, that's one warning. I was like, all right. You know, I got to let these guys have it a little bit, you know. But they're like 17. These kids are 17 and 18. It's not like I'm not going out there and kicking dirt or something at these guys.
Yeah.
But it's fun for the team, too. It's fun, like the parents. It's not, we played this team from Quebec. I don't know, they're probably not watching anything like that, but it was just like, I was hearing some tabernacle, I was hearing some this and some that, and I was just like, you know, and we have some people on our team that speak both English and French, so it was going a little bit back. It gets pretty heated, like sporting events, like are pretty. So they complained, the French team had complained that our fans were cheering too loud. And then so the umpire comes to me and is like, look, we have a complaint that the fans are cheering too loud. I'm like, at a baseball game, really? You know, I'm like, okay.
All right.
So what am I supposed to do? Yeah. But anyways, no, it just
You don't coach the crowd.
Well, apparently that's I mean, we're getting the crowd is hyped up. Yeah. But no, at the end of the day, the big important thing is that you don't bother. So like when a girl's in their warm-up or a pitcher is in their wind-up getting ready to throw and things like that, you know, you don't want to be yelling things like that. And that wasn't happening, but that's what we have to watch out for. So, no, just overall an absolutely fun weekend. We lost our first game on Friday, came back 1-2 on Saturday, then had a huge barbecue, which was tons of fun. The league put on this great, who was hosting the tournament, Royal York. They put on this great barbecue with dancing and everything like that. It was great times there Saturday night. And then we came back and won the semifinals 9-3. My daughter pitched a complete game, 5-inning, 16-1 victory. And it was the first time she's ever pitched more than 1 inning, so I was really proud of her. And I am proud of the team that we have here at Trader TV Live, anchored by the two fine gentlemen at the desk. We're just here.
Yeah.
We're just here. But let's go throw it back over to the guys that drive the ship or steer the ship or whatever you do. Let's watch out for those icebergs and give it back to Brendan and Sharif. And the sticky note's about to be posted.
It is about that time. There's, as we were saying, a ton of things to understand, not only today, but throughout this week. We'll get to a few of them coming up here. Let's have a look at the market, though, to first kick it off.
Absolutely, Brendo. We're gapping up already here from the close on Friday, 62.22 with the overnight high, guys, 62.55. So we did momentarily breach that 50-point area of technical resistance. We're going to continue to use it as a resistance level on the day until we clear it decisively. We're currently trading at 46, so we're right there. So if we lose for whatever reason the bid, we're looking at 6,200 as support, and until we clear 6,250, that is going to be our resistance. All
right, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you take a second, jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to the sign-up page for the watch list. Has everything on it every single morning that is moving around in the pre-market and why. Then you come join us at 8:30, and we get you set for the open. I was just having a look at Robinhood here. We'll get to it in a second, but it's trying to break that low, or attempting to break that low back to the downside. We'll get to that in a second. Low of the pre-market, even though it is higher on the day. Palantir, pretty ugly on Friday. Got sold off really, really hard into the close, but gapping back to the upside here. Hey, there's another deal for Palantir. It's almost a daily thing here.
And another commercial deal.
Yeah,
we keep talking about this, really expanding into the commercial business after really relying on government contracts for the majority of their existence. So Accenture, Federal Services, and Palantir, Accenture, by the way, ACN on the Nasdaq, I believe, announced a landmark partnership naming Accenture as a preferred implementation partner for the U.S. Government clients. Essentially what they're going to do, guys, they're going to focus using AIP, so that's Palantir's advanced AI platform. They're going to use it for enterprise-to-edge data fusion, predictive supply chain orchestration, operational finance intelligence, all that good stuff that you need at a corporate level, Brendo, but without the manpower to support it. So AIP, another win.
Yeah, trying to regain some of these levels that we lost on Friday, guys. What do we do with Palantir today?
Yeah, it's a great question. What do we do with Palantir, Sean? I think we kind of talked about some of those reference prices where that selling came in. Going into the imbalances, you can see that I already have an alert there at that 138, 350, right? Those imbalances come in, you can see the volume, and that's kind of that undisturbed price before sellers really stepped in. Interestingly enough, I like that, again, we're holding that level as a little bit of resistance in the pre-market, but after stepping up and reverting pretty much a decent chunk of the selling. So that 138, I think, is going to be pretty telling. If we get a little bit of market tailwind as well, don't forget, both the Nasdaq and the ES are gapping up above some of those prior levels here today. So let's look for that potential tailwind. I like some of these consolidation highs, maybe 141. You can see that's the kind of the first place where even off of the open, the selling was just as aggressive going into the close. That was really interesting to me. And any sort of bid, the first bid that ever came up, could not get past that 141 as well. So I think that 141 and that 138 could be potentially interesting if I'm looking for a potential continuation. But again, sellers kind of showed themselves at those prices. I do have to be wary to see if they show up once again. So that's my look on Palantir. Definitely have it as one of the top watches on the day today. But let's see if any of these opportunities potentially fall into my lap. But let's see. I don't know. I can't really tell the future on this one.
You can't? Can't use the Palantir? Okay, so yeah, no, for me, look, I was actually watching the show there on Friday, and saw this huge move down. I was out with my brother on Friday. I had a great game of golf, so we were really excited. My first round of the year, so that was a lot of fun. So glad to have done that on the day off. But yeah, I came in, and this is the thing about Palantir. Look at this, right off the open, whoops. And then again, whoops, right there. So some definite selling into the Russell rebalances, right? I mean, I'm not sure why it was such a surprise because, we see the huge selling off the open, then it just continued to happen on the rebalance again. Like I was watching and I said to Obi, like, why weren't you guys short? And it's tough to get short, but there it goes to the downside right there on that play. So nice move. And now it's starting to get back. So I actually bought some into like my swing account down there, and I actually got long, and this is, whatever, and I even put this in the chat on Friday when I stepped into the chat. I was giving some plays from home, but I went long at 131 down there on Friday, so just a couple shares, but, was expecting this bounce back. It's not. The sticky note, I'm just going to edit it a little bit, push send, and then get this out. I don't actually have Palantir on there, and I know that's going to sound a little bit crazy-like, but for me, it's not really, and Obi just went over some levels, and obviously we appreciate those. It's not really, to me, at a level that I'm super, super excited about yet. Like, I'd like to see this thing break through 140, and if we can get to that, then let's go. But for right now, obviously it's already up that 5%. I've just seen Palantir so many times get hit on what I thought was good news. The stock does not actually, like I said, I was buying it for that little dip by there. Just couldn't believe like how far it went down. That may not be a great price. Like, I could see Palantir retesting 131 today. I don't have clear vision on this today. There's the 140. I guess it's like a 140.30 or something break. If we can break back above Friday's highs, then to me that would be, I mean, obviously the highs are in the pre-market, but that little bump right there, if we can get above 140.50, then I think it's time for me to get excited about Palantir and then start to use some of these levels as support. But I'm a little scared to make a call when we have the last 3 days, huge downside moves early. And I just, there has to be some selling. We got news that Jensen and the group has been selling off NVIDIA in all of June. I think you're going to find out news about Palantir and insider sales as well, because it's just, I feel like we're dumping this stock, and it's a little, for me, too early to get excited about a long for Palantir. So if we fall back into this support area, 131, 132, fine. But for me, for right now, I could see a Tesla, Palantir-like drop happening right off the open. I hope I'm completely wrong and we rip to the high side, as Palantir is a huge position for me. But we were pairing it off. I thought it was a good opportunity to get a little bit more back in. So again, I like the name. Their PE is through the absolute roof. It might be the highest PE in the Nasdaq 100, to be honest with you. So I just feel like be careful with it. It's a great day trading stock. For me today, until we break above that 140.50, I'm going to put my hands up in the air and wave them like I do care a little bit. I do want to talk about Disney. That's going to be on my sticky note, but we have names to run through. I don't want to forget about Disney, but we'll maybe talk about that near the end.
All right, let's jump to banks here. Back to the upside once again. This is the XLF, so the entire group. I mean, Sharif and I were just talking about this off camera a little bit. I mean, we're right here, right now. Closing high, at least, right here, right now. We did get up to 52.66 or so on the intraday high for XLF, but all of these U.S. banks higher once again.
Yeah, they were tested for a stress test on Friday, Brendo, and all of them passed. So basically, all of them, all 22 banks that were tested can absorb $550 billion in losses, yet continue to lend. So the predictions here by analysts is you're going to see a wave of share buybacks as well as dividend increases to put the money back in the shareholders' pocket. Goldman Sachs seen as the biggest benefactor of this move with the most capital flexibility. Wells Fargo, the second best performer. They have a different catalyst because they had a cap requirement back from that scandal that they were opening bank accounts without clients' permission. And then M&T Capital, Brendo, back in third here, the third best performer. But just to summarize, share buybacks and dividends. It's supposed to be a wave coming with these banks.
I mean, when you incentivize employees based on how many accounts they're opening, guess what's going to happen?
Exactly.
They're going to open a lot of accounts. That Goldman chart that you were talking about, like this is crazy. Yeah. That's a daily chart for Goldman Sachs, guys, just ripping still.
Obi, I'm now incentivizing you to get more subscribers for us.
All right, guys,
immediately
hit the like and subscribe right now because apparently my life depends on it.
I didn't say life.
Oh, okay.
Financial well-being.
So basically my life.
Okay. Yeah. No. Hit the like and the subscribe. But yeah, we saw Wells Fargo. They got in a lot of trouble for that. Opening up just tons of accounts and signing people up to like irresponsible mortgages and that. And they got hit. There was a downside play on them years and years ago. I don't know.
Oh, wait.
I feel like, no, it wasn't 08. It wasn't that far ago. Maybe 10 years ago, something like that. Maybe even a little bit less than that. But that brings me just back to that idea. And TD Bank had similar issues here in Canada as well. But, all of these charts. It's funny that you brought up Goldman Sachs because that's basically, I own two U.S. banks, JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, and it's just been boom to the upside there. You talk about that Michael Noss segment there from Stats Edge and breaking through 280, its all-time high and just continuation, man. Now you go 290, the next level. I think that's going to be another name in play. Capital One, a favorite of Jim Cramer, has loved this name. I mean, I've been listening to this guy talk about this for a while as well. Apparently, they're about to do one of these buybacks now that they've been unlocked, and that's just right here, unlocking. Capital One had a deal. I can't remember. They merged or bought another entity. People in the chat would probably know this. I got to look that up. But there it goes, breaking through 210. This could be another one. Without doing the research, I just know it's a Cramer fave. And then you have Goldman Sachs, as Brendan just mentioned as well. DFS, Discovery Financial. So thank you so much to Rivian Millionaire. You got that one, Discovery. Thank you guys for all of that. But yeah, Goldman Sachs also up and away. So I'm just going to look at COF because Cramer was talking about it, and this breakout is one of the ones that has just happened over the last couple of days. So I think that for me, the look now, I may actually dump some. I mean, we're long JP Morgan at 230 off the 200 period moving average. We really like that play. But I think getting into some COF right now, breaking highs, we talk about making those plays, taking names that are going higher. Capital One seems to be going higher. And you have to think like a lot of these names, sure, tariffs. We got that pullback now from the Canadian digital services tax there. They've canceled that. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of plays right now that are very U.S. centric. And, if we're going to get Chicago PMI coming out soon, if that number can pop, I really think that we have a possible winner here in COF. So for me, that would be my play, but I do really like a JP Morgan and, you know, again, an XLF type of thing. We, you know, Obi and I dropped some of those names as well earlier. When you get the ETF looking like this, and here it is right here trying to break through these highs, like this is another area to look. If you're not sure which bank to take and you want to get some sort of exposure, grab XLF. And I don't know, you have holdings. Oh, you have the holdings up right there.
Yeah,
so
that's
why don't we flip over to your screen and you can go talk about that in the inning.
Yeah, so first thing, when Brendo did mention XLF, I was like, yes, definitely one I want to be watching, especially with the banks as strong as they are. And something I like to do with these ETFs is just figure out how they're weighted, right? And I didn't even know that Berkshire is actually the top weighting, BRK.B coming in at over 12%. Here in terms of the index weighting, and then Visa, MasterCard, and American Express as well. Some of those, I guess, credit card companies, BAC, WFC. So again, Visa and MasterCard have been pretty strong over the past couple of weeks, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to be watching some of those because they did kind of sell off into the end of, I guess, past couple of weeks. Well, they've been strong for, when you look at the weekly, they've been strong for quite a minute there. You can see very, very strong continuation and strong trend as well. Visa similar on the weekly. But yeah, Goldman Sachs currently as well. Look at this gap up that's happening in the pre-market on Goldman Sachs. That was interesting to me. Not really a lot of the other banks are doing this specific kind of action in the pre-market. So yeah, Goldman Sachs definitely the strongest out of the bunch. You can see that BAC not really doing too much, and WFC was up there as well. Wells Fargo is, yeah, sure, Wells Fargo pushing up after the close, probably on the results of that stress testing. So ones to watch out for sure. But Berkshire kind of hitting me off guard there. Let's take a look at that one and see what that one's doing in the pre-market. Nothing too crazy here, but sideways consolidation from last week's levels. But I think you guys are definitely right. If you want to be playing the banks as a whole, XLF is one of the vehicles that you probably want to be watching as well, if not directly trading at the very least. But yeah, banks are pretty strong.
Coming up here on Wednesday, we'll touch on that in a second. Just be aware, Google just took out the highs here. We're at 182. There's a couple of things to note for Google today. We'll get to that in a second as well. But they just announced a fusion power deal with a spinoff that came from MIT that's called Commonwealth Fusion Systems. That's going to be online by 2030s, they're saying. So
crazy.
Offering power by the 2030s. So hedging their bet on the nuclear side, I guess, a little bit is Google. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's not skip over Tesla here. Expected to have quarterly deliveries coming through on Wednesday this week. Again, another month, another quarter that we are expecting a huge downside tick.
Yeah, so the car sales continue to bleed, Brendo. It's not a good look. We've seen it in Europe. We're seeing it in North America. But there is a silver lining, a successful launch of the robotaxi last week and on Friday. Oh, yes. Now the cars, Brendo, are delivering themselves. This Model Y over here on your screen, Andre, if I can show the screen, please, delivering itself on the streets of Austin, fully autonomous there. We'll skip over to show you as it gets into the streets area of Austin. Very kind of tight area. It goes right to the guy's apartment there, so not a bad look for Tesla. We'll keep an eye out on that. Obviously, this is part of the fully autonomous FSD that was launched last week with the robotaxi. So now they're using it to also self-deliver.
Anytime, I mean, when you buy a car, typically from a dealership specifically, I mean, there's that whole.
Good point.
You go to the dealership, you get the key, you get the, that book they give you, the license, the whole thing.
And the guy who actually got the delivery made that exact point.
Yeah.
He's like, it felt very anticlimactic. Yeah. I was supposed to, go.
It's almost exciting to like go to the dealership. Yeah.
No, there was nothing of that.
Yeah,
so.
I get it though. It's cool, I guess.
Yeah, no, Tesla, I think, is definitely, again, been very much in play over the past couple of weeks. We saw what happened last week as well with an aggressive kind of sell-off and continuation. Sure, you can argue that this is just kind of sideways consolidation as well, but we have been making a few lower highs and lower lows as well. But let's take a look at it on a higher time frame. Let's go up to the 3-hour here. I'm not going to bring up my indicators on Tesla just yet. I know if you guys are avid watchers of the show, my Tesla chart may not be the cleanest, because it has a lot of lines, a lot of indicators. Not yet, not yet. I gotta ease them into it, right, Sharif? I can't just be like, boom, look at all this. No, because none of that really matters. But here's the thing. What I do want to point out is this right here. So a little bit of a consolidation going sideways. And yeah, do something for sure, Sean. It's not really doing too much other than just consolidating on top of that 300. This 200 hold was absolutely mint. I really like this action here. And we have been stepping up on top of that. Now we can bring some of those in here. And the one I do want to point out is I've already bolded it. This is an anchored VWAP from all-time highs. You can see that finally, after all of this chop, and after all of these anchored VWAPs have converged, we're starting to see price accept and hold above some of those levels. So again, does it signify any sort of strength? I don't know. But what I do know is that Tesla has been pretty much in a bit of a stair-step squeeze for years and years and years, because there's been so many people who aggressively bet against them. And if they're holding for long enough, they end up getting squeezed out anyway. So
squozed.
Yeah.
So for me, this is the thing for me, and I'm probably in the minority here, but I actually like going, like, for me, I like going into the sales office and talking to these guys, you know, these sales guys, and then just like working them a little bit, you know, doing all that. Like the guy that I got picked up the Tesla from there at the dealership was great, and you know, we sort of built a little bit of just a friendship type of thing like there. And then you go and you negotiate and you take it out for a test drive. I mean, I know Tesla's a little bit different. They're all made just pushed out. Like one Model Y is going to be the same as the next, same as the next.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah, like, but I don't know. I kind of like going, picking the car up, doing that whole thing. But I get it. That's not, you know, I think this is huge for Tesla, and I love the autonomous driving. And I was actually speaking with some people this weekend that were asking me a little bit about it. And I just think the FSD is huge for different reasons. I mean, there are individuals that aren't able to drive as well, and this may unlock that. And I don't know the rules about all of that kind of just, you know, people that would have different medical conditions or whatever that may not be able to drive. And I don't know if full self-drive helps that at all or anything, but I thought that was an interesting look. But at the end of the day, you know, you're still coming back down. The market's blasting today. This is down 0.61. As much as Chef Joe and everybody else in the chat, if you're here, Chef Joe, what's up? I haven't been on the chat too much here yet, but you're coming back into this 311 area, and this is kind of an area that we had talked about earlier. So if this comes through, I think it's worth trying something down there. It's the 200 period. It's the 50 period moving average. I like the long. It did not make the note today for Tesla, but if there was going to be a short, you know, I'm thinking that this is probably the right one. And just looking at a daily chart here, you definitely had a lot of consolidation. I don't think it's not rocket science to look at this 325 area and say, look, we got to get above this before we get bullish. So for me, a move up into there, and you know, I said Palantir can have these dramatic moves. I mean, look what, and I again wasn't here on Friday, but Tesla looks like it did it, and I didn't know this. So looking at it now, it opened up at 326. It goes all the way down to 320, which is only $6, not that bad. But then within the next hour or so, it rips up another $9 before, whoops, losing its way there throughout the middle of the day. I guess on the Canada news there on the digital tax, making that move down. I don't know. The whole market kind of moved down, right? And then we wound up back up, all creating all new all-time highs in both the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. So for me, for Tesla, it's kind of a keep away right now and wait for something. I also forgot, like on Friday, it was actually really nice to be, so we went golfing first and we were home in time to see our kids' last day of school. So that was like another huge benefit that I didn't even realize I realized it, but we're in Disney mode today. Anyways, so there's Disney breaking through highs. What's on my note? We've got Google, Amazon, BigBear.ai, and Disney. So those are going to be some names. And then here we go. I tagged up Adara's @TraderTV research page as well. Go find her over there. A lot of great posts coming from Trader TV research. So on watch, June 27th. Obviously, that's for Friday, but all different stories on here, calendars, events. Here's our weekly calendar that Adara's created for us as well. Today we have Chicago PMI, Fed speak coming through. It's a real light week as far as earnings are concerned. So, you know, we don't have much on there. Quantum. Not sure exactly what that stock is, but Quantum right there. And then we have Constellation Brands, obviously the big company tomorrow coming through as well. So, okay, that's just a little quick look. You can go find Trader TV research with lots of notes on there as well at Trader TV Sean for the note. But here, when you buy a car, yeah, man, I go, you buy a car. Right, okay, so okay, we've established that. All right, going to the dealership. Does it say when you buy a car? Okay, when you buy a car, waiting for delivery, can't afford a car. Yep, can't afford a car. That would be me now, but all right. So that's what we're doing now. And that's another point, actually, like, are people actually looking to pick up new cars right now? We do have a rate environment where we're gonna get cuts in the next year, right? That's for sure. We've talked about it's 93% chance already by September, by October, that we get at least 25 basis point cuts. So that's most likely going to be coming through. So maybe it's not the right time to pick up some cars right now, but interesting poll. All right, I'm talking way too much. It's 9:25. Let's go. We have imbalances. We have Google coming up, and then we have Robinhood's crypto event.
Lots to know with Google this morning. Here's the chart right now. Just pull back from session highs so far this morning. Huge rip into the close on Friday on an imbalance. Huge imbalance for Google at the close on Friday. A couple things to understand if you missed it. I was just mentioning that, again, fusion power deal that Google has done with a MIT spinoff. They're going to have fusion power available apparently by the 2030s. Crazy. So it's not anytime soon, but kind of cool, I guess, hedging their bet a little bit with the nuclear side of things.
This is like the next level of, this is how the sun makes power. So this is like next level stuff that they're able to say 2030 to me. Quite impressive, Brendo. Let's talk about this other headline that they have with OpenAI. So OpenAI has begun using AI chips made from Google. You'll recall that they're called TPUs, Tensor Processing Units, a first major move away from their exclusive reliance on NVIDIA. Previously, they had been relying exclusively on NVIDIA chips for both inference and training. Now they're going to use these TPUs for inference. They'll continue to use NVIDIA chips for training. However, Google is reportedly not leasing its most advanced TPUs to OpenAI, which is obviously a competitor to Gemini 2.5. Instead, Google's reserving the cutting-edge hardware for its own project, Brendo, including the Gemini model suite. So we'll have to see how this partnership continues in the future. Yeah,
this is the company. I was just trying to find that name again. Commonwealth Fusion up here. It's tough to see. Commonwealth Fusion Systems. So this thing apparently going to be ready by 2030.
Yeah. So I can start. I mean, I have Google on my list today. I think it's going to be a huge name. I mean, I really like that break. I cannot believe that it actually went back into 165. Like, talk about, I could have righted the wrong there. When we had sold Google at 161 and bought Eli Lilly, I could have righted that wrong 4 days ago and got back. Not that it's been wrong. I mean, Eli Lilly has been great. But it's just like a matter of the fact that, look at this huge move back up. Like, there's been a lot of traders that have liked sort of the catch-up trade there, and that is like trying to trade off of, say, names that are a little weak, not just necessarily going after the NVIDIAs and the Amazons of the world, but trying to find like a Mag 7 name, like an Apple, like a Google, as opposed to Meta, Microsoft, and those other names that I've given. This came right back into that 50-period moving average after already kind of showing strength. So that was a huge dip buy for sure. But yeah, so I had just written down on the list today that I like the 180 long. But I don't know, like, if we're going to get that breaking through this level. We're probably not going to get it. So I'd written down, what about VWAP? Here's 180 right there. It's the 200-period moving average. So I like momentum names that can retrace back into the 200-period moving average. Google's up 1% better than its market right now. The Nasdaq's up 0.6. You got 1.6 here. You do have the imbalances that just came out. I'm just trying to speed through these because we've kind of got to get going. I don't see much there. We have Google as a small sell. We have Palantir here as a buy. That's now up to 138. So woohoo. There goes Palantir as well. And then nothing stopping Oracle, by the way. Oracle's up another 7%. This is starting to get a bigger position in my account. I don't want to get out of any of it, and I'm glad that it's doing what it's doing. And the biggest of the bears going for a dip right now. I'm looking for $6 right here on Big Bear AI. But I like Google. I'm bidding already 180.25. Hopefully that will come in and we'll deal with it when that does happen. But it looks like for Google, you may have to break the day's high to get into this, and that's going to be 182. That could come right off the jump. I don't want to break that, but you know, that might be the trade that I have to make. If the market wants to go, I think I'm a go on Google 182.
Yeah, no, I like the continuation for Google as well, Sean. You can see that, again, aggressive strength in the morning, holding up pretty well. We talked about it, how it's kind of hugging that VWAP session, VWAP currently being held pretty well. So let's see if that continues to be the case coming in off of the open. Yeah, 182 current pre-market highs. We see how strong Google can sometimes be off of the open there. So I do have it on watch. And again, just a little bit of an anchored from where that strength came in all the way down at 176.5. So if we do pull back, maybe I'll be looking at it over there to see if there's anything doable on Google there. But yeah, definitely one to watch out for. Let's see if we get that market tailwind as well on Google.
All right, let's go quick.
Under a minute to go here. Robinhood just actually taking out the highs right now. It came back real quick. There's a live stream event coming up at 11 o'clock this morning. The future of crypto going to be discussed. What was it? To catch a token.
Yes, we were trying to figure out what that meant.
Is the name of this event. To catch a token.
And they got a price target upgrade from B of A today, Brendo, boosting from 95 to, from 65 to 95, maintaining the buy.
Hood looking strong here, guys, to kick things off today.
I was just saying to Obi, you know what? I'm not really sure I like Google that much after all, because I have to remember why we sold it. It's getting a bump up. You have to remember the search business has changed like dramatically. Okay, Robinhood, yeah, let's just pay attention to that crypto event. Robinhood's been on fire, and but it's been on fire for a minute, that's for sure. All right, let's drop this countdown right now. We will look at more Robinhood. This brought to you by Oragenics, listed on the NYSE. OGen, thank you, Adara. 3, 2, 1, we're open right now. The clock that I have, I think, is like a second off or so. So we're going to have to get that going. All right, so I'm just going to go right over to Amazon. I like Amazon early right here. It is dropping a little bit. I'm bidding 222. I'm long something. I'm long Google right now. Google's in the building right now, finally at that 180. So here we go. We're long Google. We're going to have to watch to see what happens. And we're long Amazon. We've got both of them. Oh, boy, Obi. There it goes already for a winner on Google. Like, I hope you guys are having fun on Friday, but here we go. Bang, bang goes Mankind right now, but we're long right here at 180. Let's see what's going on. We're also long on Amazon. Bang, bang again right there for Amazon. So let's just wait to see. Early shares loaded in off a nice little dip there. Let's see if we can get some more excitement coming through right now. There goes Google. Watching out for 180, man. If it breaks through this level here, 179, I'm gone. I don't really want to put too much risk into Google. I'm not in love with it as much as I thought I was. So, yeah, we don't have to be married to this one. Watch out for 170. Let's see if we can even maybe get a little bit longer here in Amazon.
Yeah, no, I like that push on Google there. Let's see if that can bring us in a little bit. That
there it goes, a dollar club, baby.
Now. So yeah, that 180 was a pretty 180 hold was pretty aggressive there, Sean, and we're getting that push to the upside as of right now. But yeah, let's see if we can sustain some of these levels back through VWAP on that one. So again, buyers potentially showing up once again. Let's see if there's any sort of real continuation here on the markets. But yeah, you can see the futures. Futures not really doing anything too decisive just yet. I got eyes on the Mag 7 as well. It seems that Tesla may be the strongest of the bunch as of right now, pushing 325s. Oh boy, Amazon catching a little bit of a bid again. And yeah, SPY kind of to the downside. So being patient, waiting for some of these opportunities to potentially set up. Let's see what falls into our lap here. Oh boy. What's going on?
I really like trading. It's a lot of fun, but it's even better when you get some things right. So right there, we've been getting out of some Amazon right there. You know, we got out some Google there at the top side. This could all fall apart. Look at the market, man. The market is really coming in right now. So look at this. It just went doot, 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 doot. So we got our best out there, 181.20 right there on the high side. I mean, look at these outs for Amazon right there. Look, I'm still hoping that Amazon comes in and we're able to do some more damage down here at 222.25, something like that. But for right now, it's an oh boy kind of a movement there on Amazon and on the market. The market's really slipping up right now. So there was a question in there. I think it was from Skull. I do want to start looking at more of the Qs. See, look, there's that Tesla move again. Wow, right up to that 325. I was like, if we got some action into this 325 area, that would be the sell. That's crazy that it came right back up into there. All right, Amazon is taking my, my smile and turning that upside down because, remember when I said I like trading? Nah, I don't like it anymore. But here comes Amazon. Amazon turning red. So we were not expecting that one, but we are now, okay, we're loaded right now on Amazon. So, hey man, your potential big trade of the day for me might have to happen right here, right now. But we talk about trying to be responsible with, being wrong on trades because that's what happens. And 221.80 or so, this little area down here, let's go 221.50 where we're wrong. 221.48 out of, I'm going to say all of it. I don't want to be in it for too long. We don't have that many shares on Google. We've switched up our plan here on Google, waiting for a 179 break. The market's not helping anybody out right now. So we got to watch out for that. 178.99. Oh, I did it on another screen. That's where my stop is for Google. 178.99. Breaking through 179. We're out of this long. The long is wrong so far here today. So, I feel like the stocks are fine. It's not really tank city here. Is Apple going to the downside at all? I will look at the chat momentarily to see some names. Yes, so there goes Apple. The weak names get weaker, which reminds me that, hey, maybe Tesla will, again, have another leg down because if they're, if this market, okay, well, we averaged into Google a little bit. That just went back up to 180. And again, this is part of the show, right? Like we will miss spots just by hosting and by looking at different names and things like that. I am going to try to get out of some Google if it comes back up into that 180 mark. So here it comes in. There it is. We're taking a little bit out. We're long at 179.85 right now on Google. So let's just wait to see if it gives us that. Now I'm going to try to hold because 85 cents worth of risk is fine for me. If this loses 179, let's go. We just got out of another little piece there. Let's see if we can get back up to the upside. I know that Obi and I are on the same names, but for right now, man, Amazon for me is a look. Let's go. This could be a big one. What's going on with Alex Karp & Co.? Not much right now. It has that huge move up. We did not get that move down. So I think Palantir can hold. Watch out for a pre-market break right there or an open market break of 138.50. That's looking pretty sweet. Chicago PMI 945.
Oh boy, that's coming in 10 minutes, so we got to watch out for that one. This 180 chop is pretty aggressive here. So we did get sellers coming in off of that VWAP here on Google, holding that 180 with a little bit of a grind here. But again, Google's moving pretty aggressively, like I said, closing pretty aggressively as well on Friday, and we're seeing some more of that action coming in to follow through here. Wow, Amazon catching a little bit of a bid as well.
Yes, sir. Day's goal.
Let's see where the market takes us. ES though, oh boy, not really showing us that aggressive of a bid. The market's coming in real hot to the downside, coming in off of the open. The one stock where I was like, all right, well, this is pretty strong here, giving it all back on Tesla. Tesla's back down at 320, so we could not successfully hold that 325 just yet. And let's see, the market catching a bit of a dump. Let's see where that buying can come in, if it can, or do we get a little bit of a continuation to the downside? I have no idea, but I'm being patient. I'm waiting and watching and seeing if this 180 can have an effective hold here on Google. If it doesn't, that's perfectly fine as well. Where is the next trade? Let us know in the chat, guys. I'm going to be watching a lot of different stocks today, but only a few definitely in play. The market seems like it's the most in play, man. That flush?
Maybe, man. I mean, we've got Amazon right here. We're dancing like Disney right there. It is your trade of the day, long at 222. Like, I can't really do anything else. There's 222. We gave it to you. It's the trade of the day. It's on the sticky note. It's all completely for free. There it goes right there. We're partying like it's... I don't know, whatever the best year for Disney was, but that's what we're doing right here, right now. Disney, man, making the best of the least and just ripping, or sorry, not Disney, Amazon going good for us right there. Let's have a quick look at Disney, man. What the price that we had liked for Disney was, we actually didn't even give a price. What we were looking for was the break of that high from last year, 224. 224, 124. Come on, it's from last March. If we can, there it is, right there. So this is what we're looking at for Disney. Oh boy, okay. This is getting exciting around here. I hope you guys are entertained. Right now, it's 2 times daily goal on Amazon right there. This is your sticky note trade of the day. Now $1.50 in the money, and it's starting to get excited. Again, I'm actually going to just say Google. That's a nice story. See you later, my guy. I don't really care that much about Google. I'm not giving back what I'm losing, what we would make here on Amazon. Let's get some more out on Amazon. And oh boy, Obi, remember we were talking about, you know, your job is to get more subscribers?
Yes.
Let's go, man. We're doing it today. Thank everybody for being here. This has been a great day. And again, there's the trade for me. It is straight there. It's off the note. We did exactly what we wanted to do. We bought Amazon down there at 222. So we're doing the old Barry Horowitz. Tap ourselves on the back right there. Shout out to WWE 1985.
1985. What happened in 1985?
That's just when Barry Horowitz was around, 85, 95,
yeah,
that area. But you have no idea about that.
No,
so,
I
don't worry, Obi, man.
But
you know what, Obi, man?
here,
Just go and camp somewhere and start sniping, Obi, man. We're talking Obi's talk now.
Oh, boy.
But we're ready to go. We're huge. Like, we've had a good trade there on Amazon. Really super excited about it. Maybe we'll get those kids that damn fast pass after all. I'm just waiting to get that note from them to say these lines are too crazy. But I think it opens at 10 o'clock.
Okay. So they're there for the whole day. I think that again, today's not off here in Canada, but tomorrow is for sure. But yeah, we were talking about how
July
a lot of people,
1st, some sort of a day.
Taking days off on today
Canada
as well.
Day.
Yeah, Canada Day, of course. Market with a little bit of a wick at the lows right there. So aggressive bid coming in here, kind of taking back about 50% of the sell-off there. Google not really showing us any sort of similar sentiment here as it kind of trades a little bit lower and lower. I do have to cut this one off soon enough if it continues to not work for me. But yeah, Apple with a little bit of a bid. Amazon was the one that caught that bid and maybe pulling the market up here as well, alongside with Softy. So Softy as well, but Goggles, well, giving it all back. It seems like that aggressive action from the from that close is a little bit reverting as of right now. So let's see, with the numbers coming up in about 5 minutes, could be interesting to see where this action potentially takes us, but got to be patient and see what it'll have in store for us. So
just getting a note here about Fat Pipe, Adara, FATN getting added right now. Take it easy over there, my guy. Sharif getting excited over here. But no, I'm
oh boy.
The pipe is fat. Fat pipe right there. Added to the Russell 3000 there. So watch out for Fat Pipe getting fatter by the day. But no, this is one of those newer IPOs that really hasn't done that much and apparently not moving at all on this news. So yeah, Fat Pipe right now trying to do something, but not really. I thought there might have been more of a move there. So apparently not right there for Fat N over there right now. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, so I just want to let you guys know, Fat Pipe, the volume is minuscule. We are talking, as of right now, just over 3,000 shares. So that is not a significant amount of volume at all. But again, being added to Russell 3000E and the Russell Microcap indices came out a couple minutes ago. The stock is not doing anything of any note as of right now. Also, again, just a reminder, at 10 a.m., we're going to get Fed's Bostic speaking. At 9:45 a.m., we're going to be getting the Chicago PMI. I'll be giving that live for you guys. So just a quick reminder, 9:45 a.m., Chicago PMI, no data coming through, however, at 10 a.m. at FATN right now, getting a bit of a bid, but still very low volume. Back to you.
Good job, Adara. Thank you so much for that one. Boom, Randy. Look what's going on SoFi. We may sell some SoFi. SoFi right here up huge, man. We're up on this day. We've really liked SoFi right now. Fly so high, like SoFi. Good one, Randy. Hey, man, ever since you got this new shirt on right now, Randy, come on. Andre. I love to get one of those shirts. I think that's a hot looking shirt there. I love the color right now. But there goes SoFi flying high right there. Nice move on that one. And we had Robinhood being talked about earlier as well. That's up another 4.5%. Look at some of these names, Randy. I mean, the market right now, everybody was like boo-hoo about tariffs and this and that, whether or not that's right or wrong. We had a huge dip buy opportunity. SoFi right into $32. Triple up. SoFi is a triple up. What does this think this is? Big Bear AI over here? Big Bear AI. Whoopsies, that's the warrant again. Big Bear AI, Randy, we're long this one at $4. This is now $6.60 right now for Big Bear AI. Wow. You always smell brisket, Randy, and I apologize for that. But for right now, here it goes. It's a nice move. It's
You're saying, are you trying to go for brisket today? Is that what's
always
being
trying
said?
to do something over here, man.
Okay. We
But
still never went to Cabanos.
I know.
Have you tried Cabanos? Oh, it's a great.
It's a burger joint.
Yeah.
Here
Just down the road.
Love it.
Yeah.
But there goes Big Bear AI. There goes Amazon, man. Google, we lost on Google, so we'll go 1 for 2 today with that. But just to let you guys know, I'm up 6 times Amazon what we lost on Google, and they're both idea 1 and 2. So it's just like, this is what I'm talking about risk management, and we talk about it all the time on the show. And it's just like, have your plan of action, have the stocks that you want to buy, and trade them with the appropriate risk and share size, and hold the winners and try to fat pipe out the losers, you know? And I mean, you just want to get in and out of all of those names. So let's just wait to see what Palantir, yeah, okay, so boom, it fades right off of those levels. We talked about that 138.50 level, maybe to potentially go long, but you can see right now, that this looks like a good little trade there for Palantir off of that. We only have 1 minute till the Chicago PMI. So what are you thinking right now, Obi?
I don't know. We'll see what kind of action that'll bring in for us. So we'll see. I don't know what it's going to
Did you have a plan of action on your Google trade? I know
yeah,
that you held it through that block.
I think I'm holding it through it right there, but yeah, we'll see what that PMI brings us. A little overextended to the downside, but we'll see what Adair has with these numbers coming up in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, we're a little bit early. I do want to talk quickly about AAL. We do have some news coming out on this one. Reuters reporting that apparently the company actually had the U.S. Supreme Court rejecting its appeal of a ruling that barred a JetBlue alliance. So either way, AAL has a ruling against the company. We're going to move on now here to Chicago PMI. We're getting here in about 10 seconds. Previous print here, 40.5. Forecast, 42.9. So we're expecting here a little bit higher than the previous print. We're going to get this in a couple seconds now, so let's see what happens with our only economic data print of the day. 40.4 I'm seeing coming in as the actual print. So that is below the forecast of 42.9. It's also below the previous print of 40.5. Here is AAL. Let's move over here to the Nasdaq to see what's happening. A little bit of a pop, but generally still lower highs, lower lows for the QQQs. It's also worth noting, currently we do have Scott Bessent, U.S. Treasury Secretary, speaking on Bloomberg News. He hasn't said much about tariffs. As of right now, he's mostly talking about the big, beautiful bill, but keep an eye here on, I guess, the market in general as Scott Bessent, U.S. Treasury Secretary, makes remarks. Back to you.
Thank you, Adair. We do want to remind everybody that we are going through, I don't know if we have the Studio 8 renovation button. I don't have it on my board right here, but we are going through a big renovation here, taking the biggest show bigger and better. So we appreciate all the patience for everybody as we are, once again, look what we're doing. Like, this is how crazy this project is. We're taking up the damn floors, you know, not the floors apparently, which are really nice, are not good enough for what we're trying to do around here. So there we go, man. The floor's coming up. Man's working hard in the back over there, man. We want to say a big thank you
taking the floor.
for that one. Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah.
He's just, I think he has his headphones on right there. But yeah, so there it goes, man. A lot of action happening on the studio floors right now. So we want to thank everybody for, again, their patience while we do all of that. I did not get a reload in Amazon because it didn't come down to my price. We're being as patient as a punch here with Amazon. I noticed you're being pretty patient with Google, so we'll have to watch out for that. Yeah, Tesla and Palantir has had a hand in paying for this studio. That is for sure. But right now, Tesla's not paying anybody unless you're just in a net neutral strategy, because right now Tesla's flat on the day, but down day over day, but flat right now for a day trade as we look to make a little bit of, okay, there we go. So we just reloaded our initial position here. So looking out for Amazon, this could be a disaster for that, you know, taking back that fast pass for the kids right here. Thanks, Amazon. Let's see if we can get back up again. We just bought that same level. We're long here at 222.25. That Chicago PMI number, we were a little bit excited about it, but It doesn't seem to have done too much there for the market. Let's wait to see if Amazon can do anything. The biggest of the bears, man, when this happens, you kind of want to wait for a VWAP trap back. So we'll wait 650. Let's see what winds up happening there. I don't know, man. It just hit that 680 marker. And when you're looking at that, I may log into the account. We were talking about getting out at 650. I think we have to be a little disciplined right now and possibly get something out here on Big Bear AI, because that's a huge move up right now. I don't ever want to get out of anything on the show, of course, because I'm doing this, but Big Bear AI, just looking at the daily chart, don't get too like FOMO'd up, man. This goes back to those weed stories, right? Is where, you know, you get into a stock and it goes up 20 or 30% and you think when moon, but I mean, you're already back in. We've already taken out this level. This could be pretty key right there. That's 625. So those highs right back there from February, 6.25. All right, so I see Google and Amazon, the two positions that we're in, are right now coming back into the downside. I'm not in Google, but I'm in Amazon, and that's falling through as well. We got to have, wow, that SoFi is continuing, man. The bank sector must be a fuego right now. 221.85. I already told you where my stop is, 221.50. Let's buy a little bit more down here and hope that Amazon can hold. It's a good thing we've taken out a little bit of profit, though, on this space. We're going to give it another run right here on Amazon.
Yeah, for sure. So, guys, Prop XP. Level up your trading game with Prop XP. Up to 1 to 200 leverage and static drawdown. Scroll the site and pick your challenge at propxp.com. Trade directly on our platform, sign up, try for free, and start your trading journey. Enjoy rapid payouts and real human support. No bots, rated 4.6 stars on Trustpilot, trusted by traders worldwide. Right now, get 50% off with code TraderTV. Links in the description. Be the trader, get funded, join Prop XP today. Prop XP, your edge starts here. Visit propxp.com. So thank you very much for that. This Google, man, this is definitely not working out for me really well, and I definitely held the bag a little too long on this one here. 178. So we thought that 180 was going to hold pretty well, but it did not hold. And this market is coming in so aggressively to the downside. I'm definitely going to be extremely wrong on this one. But yeah, we'll see. We'll wait and see where the next opportunities are. Let me know in the chat what you guys are trading as well. I want to know, again, did everybody think that this market was going to blast due to some of those imbalances coming in at the end of the day on Friday? I definitely did, and I am very, very wrong on that as of right now. But again, day's not over. Opportunities still galore, I would say, in the rest of the market. But got to wait and see for some of those things to pop up and fall into our lap, right?
Yeah, we had to punch out of our Amazon right here at the level that we said we would. So I'm pretty happy with the discipline there, but not happy with the end result, as we will turn red there on Amazon. And again, just talking properly there, I think we want to explain that, yeah, that was a losing trade. I'm going to assume that Disney it's coming back in at some point here, maybe, potentially. So let's wait to see Disney. Nice move back in, still up that 1%. We'll wait to see. I do want to get longer, though, in everything. So I'm going to play Amazon breaking back through 222. Let's just see if it did indeed get a little bit rinsed down there to that downside. Also, the futures right now made a play back in, wondering about buying into some of those dips in and around $82 for these TQQs. If you kind of go back to this level, this was that area from Friday that we were bouncing around here at 82. It's also the 50-period moving average. So feel like this is something. It's now 951. I don't have a problem necessarily playing off of this 81.80 low right now for it's 81.90. So I'm going to try this and just think that potentially Amazon could bounce back a little bit. Some of these names could get going, and we may have an opportunity to pick something up on the downside here as far as the futures market is concerned. So I'm going to buy a little bit of Nasdaq right now at this 82 marker, see if it can hold. We're going to give it that down to like 81.80. If that breaks, then we're going to get out. So that's 81.79 or so on this. And it's just about catching this. It's a downside play right there. And we're just going to hope for the best and see if we can come up with a trade here on the TQQs. Gives ourselves 30 cents worth of risk. I think that that's worth it, man. 30 cents worth of risk for what we could possibly have right now, I think is worth it. So we're going long right now on the futures. Over to Adara.
I mentioned earlier, Scott Bessent, U.S. Treasury Secretary, is speaking right now on Bloomberg. He just said that there will be a flurry of trade deals going into the final week before the July 9th deadline. So that would, I guess, be these next 2 weeks. Keep an eye on potential trade talks. He also said that he, in terms of if he would be the next Fed chair, he says that he currently likes his job. So right now it does not seem like that's something at least that he's interested in. He also said that the Fed seems a bit frozen at the wheel, and that if, I guess, once we get that new Fed chair, he will be working with this Fed chair in the coming weeks and months. So no indication as to who that's going to be, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be current U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Again, in about 10 minutes, we do not have any economic data, but we will have comments from Fed's Bostic. Just got another comment from Scott Bessent of interest. He said that if countries are recalcitrant, tariffs could go back up. Back to you.
All right, shoot, man. We just punched long in Amazon there. We could have got out for a sweet, sweet victory there, but we're only giving this 20 cents worth of risk. So we're actually long now at 202.04. We could have got more out, so we're going to get some more out right now as we make some back here on Amazon. So there, oops, that's a TQ, sorry. There's Amazon right here. We told you we were going to go long on 222 break, so we did do that, and it did go nicely for us, but it didn't really continue. The best trade, the best outs we got were right into here, 222 17s, 18s, 20s, things like that. So we're going to try to get this out at 221.80s. If we break back down, the most we got there was 20 cents. So we're going to stop out at 20 cents on that one. But so far, so good here on this futures trade for us. Again, trying to give this 20 cents. Let's take 20 cents. Come on, Amazon. We get green on Amazon in a couple pennies. So let's see what happens here with AMZN. Comes right back into the level that we liked. So we bought the dip there on Amazon. So let's wait to see. The TQs, again, just a level. We zoomed that back out. We had bought it off of those dip buy opportunities right into some, hopefully some support right there. Resistance right there turning into support. Let's wait to see what winds up happening there for the TQs. I am addicted to trading. My name is Sean Katina.
Yeah, definitely can say that. Palantir, actually, we made that, we put that 138 alert on Palantir in the pre-market, and that kind of came in right before the open. I got an alert on that, and I was like, all right, well, 138 potential break, but look at this missed trade here, Sean. We were talking about that 138 being a little bit of an over-under, and you can see that rejection of 138 right off the bat, and we get that pullback into 136s. So I kind of want to go back and look at what we looked like. Oh boy, Hood, Robin Hood. We were talking about that one. Look at that one push as well. But yeah, Palantir here on the day, a little bit of a lick grab potentially of that push there.
I see what you're
pulling into 136s right there. So Palantir looking quite nice here. And yeah, people in the chat talking about Hood. What's NVIDIA up to? I'm curious to know.
What the hell?
And again, NVIDIA, look at that. Definitely. What is going on here?
What the hell?
Straight to the downside. What's going on?
You don't know that song?
No, I have no idea. I think I might have heard parts of it, but yeah. NVIDIA pulling back aggressively into that 155 halves as of right now. So yeah, no real bid on this market. I was thinking maybe some of that the market. The economic number there could bring something into it. We're getting a little bit of reversion off of that 22,800 as of right now. So let's see if this bounce can carry us through. NVIDIA catching maybe a potential bid off of this 156 as well. I want to quickly go through Google. Yeah, Google is not really bouncing. I was definitely wrong on that one. And there's that IONQ alert. Oh boy. All right. So let's see what some of these quantum names are up to as well. So yeah, a little bit of a push on IONQ. We saw that last week was pretty consolidative. We pretty much went sideways from Monday all the way into Friday, not really making any distinct higher highs or higher lows, but coming into the beginning of the week, that's some continuation right there that we're getting. So that alert coming up for me as well. So let's see what Adara has real quick.
We're here. We have more comments coming through from U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. He's saying that the stablecoin legislation, or the Genius Act, could be done by mid-July, and it will be a source of demand for U.S. Treasuries. Just be aware here. Here's COIN not moving too much on this. CRCL also a little bit choppy, giving up a lot of its earlier strength. But either way, just be aware. Scott Bessent here talking about the stablecoin legislation, which could be done by mid-July, according to him. Back to you.
Oh, yeah, Palantir trying to go as well. Right now, we brought to you guys SoFi this morning. Damn, Daniel, like we had this call, man. We should have stuck here when we were in Amazon and just like watching Amazon go. But here it is right now, looking like it wants to go to. This is not all-time highs on SoFi, is it? Because SoFi had some huge moves early in its existence. Hold on a second, is it? I don't know. No, okay. I was gonna say it, I didn't think so. But we're getting close. Again, this is. So when you talk about all-time highs and things like that for stocks, you gotta, it's not gonna be an all-time high because price is true, right? But at the end of the day, like that's a huge move up right there on SoFi. And again, that's due to its initial sort of IPO bump. But this is a monthly chart, right? So if you're looking at a daily chart, oh boy, how impressive does SoFi look right now? I mean, it's, again, another name that was $6 a year ago. It comes into play now 18 and change, looking to take out that 1850. I think we should just push this through 1850, man, and take that long, breaking through 1850 and just start play with some action there because this is fire, man, and it wants to go. So SoFi 1850, I'm gonna go long. What's up, Adara?
So for another interruption here, we have more news, this time on AAPL. Wall Street Journal reporting that Apple is going to be delaying the rollout of some of its features in the EU due to regulatory hurdles. So here is AAPL, near low of days here right now. Again, guys, no 10 a.m. numbers. The Fed's Bostic will be speaking. Back to you.
Right. Yeah, so right now I'm just holding on to, I mean, these futures trade on the TQs has been pretty hot as well. I mean, it says we only were looking for 20. Remember where our stop was? What is set right now at 81.79. So let's just take out some more. I'm at 31s. There we go. We get the 31 out right there. So now we'll take about that 1-to-1. Right, a little bit more than 1-to-1 right now. If we can do that, trading the TQs and nail some bottoms, all we're really doing is getting more confidence. So for me, yeah, man, I mean, I'm all about that. All about the good vibes, all about the good feels. So right here goes SoFi. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, man. Hit it for Neil's not here today. Hope he's having a nice time doing his car camping. But here we go. Let's go SoFi. We are now long 1850. We got a great punch through, man, on that price. So we're long at 18. I think it shows 18. We're at long 1850 change. So I don't know, but either way, here we go, man. We're long SoFi. I am trying to get something out at just for a quick 4 cents there, and then we'll let this thing start to go back up to the high side. There it is. We get a 54. Just pay for some of our execution fees there. And now let's get going on SoFi, man. Next stop, if we can get a 57, let's do that. Oh boy, Obi, this is starting to work out nicely for us here today. As we've got SoFi, we've got the futures. There we go, man. We're here in the building one more time. So glad to be back with you, man. Like I said, early initial wingman off. Enter new wingman Obi right now. So let's guide through this market and see what we can do. But there goes SoFi right now, man. 1865 there for SoFi. That's Amazon, my bad. There's SoFi right there. We did it. We got SoFi right now. Let's see what we can do and go over to Adara, then back to Obi.
What's happening now here is a bit of an interesting level for the Nasdaq. We're near Friday's highs are in that 549, basically 550 level. Will we push lower or will we bounce? We just got a bit of a, I guess, bottoming tail candle on that 15-minute. So this could potentially go either way. We have comments coming through from Scott Bessent, U.S. Treasury Secretary, happening right now. He has basically said that tariffs could potentially, these tariff deals could start being rolled out or announced within these next couple of weeks, heading into that July 9th Liberation Day pause deadline. We also have Apple on watch. AAPL, Wall Street Journal, reporting that the company is delaying the rollout of some of its features in the EU due to regulatory concerns. And Palantir, PLTR, this name got hit really hard last week into the close on imbalances. This morning announcing a partnership with Accenture with regards to a collaboration on incorporating AI into federal agency workflows. Back to you.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Obi.
Yeah,
we're rocking. We're back to Greensville, by the way.
Nice.
So yes.
That Palantir, I'm trying to get involved here with this 138. So we came all the way back with this one into this 138. A little bit of a double topping action, if I do say so myself. happening here on Palantir. Here, we're taking a look at this chart a little bit clearer. You can see that day high, 138.55, is pulling back almost $1 off of that. Still holding above VWAP there. We got bought up pretty nicely. We kind of held that pre-market lows and attempting to push some of these day highs on top of 138. I liked that push into 138, so I did take a little bit of a dabble there, but couldn't quite get back up through that day high 138.55 just yet. So maybe you got to let this one cook a little bit and see what other action can potentially come out of this here. Market still attempting to push a bounce right there. We got the first 15-minute green candle after the first candle off the open was aggressively red, as you guys saw. Maybe now we get that bit of a bid and reversion happening. But here's the thing, man. A lot of these stocks aggressively kind of pointed towards the downside here. Here's a 500 failure to follow through potentially on Softy as well. It's been holding up quite well in terms of a higher time frame, higher highs and higher lows as well. The grind up on Softy is interesting to watch as well. But Apple, you can see, I was talking to Sean about this one in the pre-market as well, and I was just like, all right, well, Apple last week we saw some aggressive buying and some aggressive selling throughout the market, some shake and bakes, but Apple held its own pretty well throughout the week, not giving it up too much on either side, right? So this is what I was watching. This is a 3-minute chart. We can go up to a 15-minute, but pretty much sideways consolidation on this one here, as it doesn't really get anywhere. Maybe just digesting this action on top of that 200. We were talking about this last week with Neil. We were like, oh well, can't really follow through the 203s and can't really follow through below 200 either. So kind of a sandwiched consolidation happening here on Apple between or on top of that 200 mark. You can see that NVIDIA, we just looked at that one as well. Tesla was interesting right off of the open as it came in with a hard push to the upside, but you can see since then, straight chop sideways. So that's, I don't really know what to do with that one there, but choppy sideways action on Tesla as of right now. And Levi in the chat talking about Reddit, and then 4-1 is who I am. All right, so and Nike. So thanks for pulling those up. Nike was definitely part of one of my stocks that I wanted to watch today, and I didn't really quite get involved. But wow, yeah, Reddit continuation through that 150. Look at that. That's kind of what I was looking for here on Palantir, to kind of break through its opening range high and get that continuation. But oh boy, Reddit's definitely doing it really well with that increasing volume. So shout out to anybody who had that Reddit trade as well. So let's see if Nike is just doing it. We saw that earnings day one on Friday was pretty aggressive to the upside, sideways consolidation for the majority of the day. And it seems like as of right now, we kind of started selling right off of the open. Again, this selling was interesting here as we did extend pretty decently off of VWAP, and we kind of reverted back to the mean there. And let's see more of that continuation happening off of the open. But again, that 70 level off open was a bit of an interesting level, and that's being held once again here on Nike. So good look there, keeping eyes on for the day two move. Again, wow, look at that strength, man. That strength is coming in pretty aggressively. Palantir as well, holding that 138 as of right now. So nothing too crazy just yet. Can't really get past it, but that 138 halves is what I'll be watching for. Let's see if we can get that little bit of action as well. Yeah, I see you guys calling out Palantir in the chat. Definitely got it on watch here. And SPY, again, I had SPY on watch for a potential continuation with the gap up, and guess what? We kind of sold off right there. You can see it alongside with the rest of the futures, but still holding above prior day's high, which I guess is a good sign, but not really showing me the bid that I was looking for necessarily. So we'll be patient, we'll wait and see if this Palantir follows through this 138 as of right now.
I was just saying, I'm getting a little nervous here about SoFi. We're out of more than half of SoFi right now, but just about half. So we have about 40% left. And it's really stopped. Our best fill there was 69, and then it just dropped off of that 70. And now there's a seller on here, so I'm going to be very, very careful and see if the sellers push it into kind of like a VWAP area right there. I'd hate to turn this winning trade into a losing trade. So in order for that to be true, like we'd probably have to stop out here if it breaks 40s, which is a good dip buy opportunity. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, you see what I'm saying? It can't really go up anymore here. So I'd be careful. Like, it just tried to break through 50 and a 49 showed up there. So I'm a little nervous about this play, to be completely honest with everybody, on SoFi right now. So I'm not super excited here about this SoFi play. So just be careful with it if you're in it. SoFi right now trying to pull back just a little bit. What's up, Adara?
Commentary coming here from Fed's boss, saying that it will take time before full clarity arrives on the trade policy, and that the Fed is still dealing with some uncertainty as to where trade policy will go. So more kind of cautious comments from the Fed. Again, there are a couple of Fed speakers, including Fed's Waller and Fed's Bowman, who are saying there's potentially a July cut. Basically, every other Fed speaker, remember, including Fed Chair Powell, is expecting a lot more skepticism as of right now. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Adara, for that one.
I think we got to
ahead.
watch out for the volatility when people are.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially people who have the ability or have shown to have the ability to move markets. You can see that a tape kind of getting a little aggressive here. So maybe market potentially reacting off of some statements. I have no idea. But Palantir pulling back aggressively back through that 137 halves here. So back through almost back at VWAP just yet. Yeah, almost back at VWAP 137.30. So we did kind of pull back in all the way back into VWAP on that one there. So let's see if buyers kind of step in. I want to be there to take it through that 138. But again, if it's not going to be there, then I got to be a little bit more patient and like Sean said, manage my risk a little bit better there. But yeah, let's go through some of the stocks that I was watching in the pre-market and see how the first half hour has kind of dealt with them. And I'm not going to really repeat some of the ones that we already went over, like Nike and Alphabet. But we know one name that came to the top of my list right in the pre-market right here that I did not have on last night, and that's with Oracle. Oracle with that strong push in the pre-market. Bit of a failure to follow through back through those highs. We saw VWAP or a moving average trend was holding, but not anymore, as again trading below that VWAP as of right now. Still technically holding above reference prices of this. So you could say that it is still uptrending, higher time frame, bigger picture. It is definitely still uptrending pretty nicely. But that 220, let's see if that holds. That's current day low right here, and that reference low coming in just above that $214 level. What is that specifically? 214.07 is the low right there on that candle that first brought in some of that volume. With the news on Oracle, what else is there? We looked at Palantir. We looked at Circle was the other one there. So yeah, borrowed shares for this one in the morning, but not really showing me what I'm looking for on the intraday. Again, bigger picture stuff happening here, like Sean pointed out earlier, where I do think that again, it's a little bit of the backside of the move. Here you can see on a higher time frame, Palantir was absolutely crazy. One of the best IPOs I have ever seen. Again, I haven't been trading for very long, but Circle,
yeah,
one of the best IPOs I've ever seen. And you can see how well it did off of the open. Again, reference low right off of the open into the highs. So within the span of about 15 days, Circle was up over 360%. And you can see a little bit of a backside once sellers do start to claim a little bit of the action there. Backside.
Got it.
Yes, on Circle. So the swing short working quite nice on this one right there. And that 300 failure to follow through, I guess that was really. Oh boy, Palantir coming right back in, so it's a good thing we got out of that one.
Nuts, eh?
There, yeah, Palantir just chopping sideways, I guess. So it kind of wipes up into that 138, wipes back down, and again taking everybody for a ride here. It would seem, like I said, I can't really tell the future on this one, but consolidating sideways as of right now is what it's showing me currently. So other than that, didn't really have anything else too much on watch. But yeah, let me know in the chat what you guys were watching. What was your top idea in the morning, and did that follow through in the first half hour? I would like to know. So throw it in the chat if you guys have any of that. NMAX, wow, that's a name I haven't really heard in a while there. NMAX, it's so somebody in the chat saying shorts covering on Newsmax. Maybe is it doing some sort of relative volume? Yes, it is. It's doing over 3 times or 2 times relative volume, and it has been, I guess, only 500,000 shares traded today. So
Let's go,
nothing too
Nasdaq.
crazy, but in terms of relative volume, definitely there. There's that follow through and that continuation here on the Nasdaq. But yeah, some of these names not really following through. NVIDIA maybe with a little bit of a bid here. You can see nice little curl back up, starting to do that bit of a reversion that, again, I was looking for on Google, but take a look at Google. Google is aggressively selling to the downside, not really showing any sort of that reversion. And again, maybe some of that buying already done going into the close on Friday. But yeah, this consolidation low right here, we're holding that as of right now. Current day low 177s on Google. Nothing too crazy there. But yeah, where is the next trade? That's what I'm watching. Meta 146 saying YG13. Let's take a quick look at Meta as well. Oh boy, this is where the reversion's happening, Sean. Look at that. This is the only name that's really breaking highs out of the Mag 7. Nothing else is really pushing except for Meta, and it seems like Meta is the one really kind of giving us a little bit of support here. And yeah, not really seeing anything too else. But Meta, oh boy, we kind of talked about that being potentially on watch as it had been doing some interesting things, not on Friday, but over the past couple of weeks. You can see that pull up Meta on the weekly, bit of a gap up push on the weekly as of right now. So pushing all-time highs through, what was that prior price? 739.68. So wow. So we were kind of, I remember back in just going into April, we were like, oh boy, how much lower are we gonna get? How, you know, there's a lot of fear in the market. People are like, oh, these are the tops, we're done. What? And everything just gets bought right back up as that sentiment shift comes in. So
no, I remember saying this. I was on the show, and I was bullish about it. I think I was one of the only ones that was thinking that we could get back to all-time highs before the year end. Was the question that we had there in the poll. It is June, well, almost July. Happy July 1st, Canada Day to everybody. Tomorrow, Obi and I will be in, and we celebrate U.S. holidays here because we trade the U.S. markets. And although we do have the ability here at Real Trading, of course, to trade all of the markets, I want to thank Real Trading for that. There's even a promotion this month to trade some of the off markets there, Vienna, Brazil, things like that. So if you're part of Real Trading, you're part of the best prop firm around. So join up with Real Trading. Go to realtrading.com immediately. Do not go to Ramin.com because she does. I don't know if she owns that URL. She does own it. I'm going there immediately then to see what is up on Ramins.com. She's selling fast passes for Wonderland. She's trying to get me to buy one. But I don't know. I don't know if they're real fast passes or not. No, just kidding around. But okay, so yeah, out of some of the market there as we ripped up, right? I mean, the TQs got a little extended there. I don't know if they got extended or, I mean, they did get extended. Whenever you go from the bottom of the day, we have the bottom of the day, and it went right up there to VWAP again. But you know what, man? Big Bear AI, we do have a offer at 685 out for Big Bear AI. Chow, out of the account goes 10% of Big Bear AI, long at 421. There it goes. Nice move up there for Big Bear AI. I just hope a lot of you, man, look, I mean, every single time for the last 3 months, Big Bear AI been talked about by your boy every day. Right here. So yeah, man, we are going to pat ourselves on the back. We are going to talk about Big Bear AI because there it goes. This is the stock this is not just a low flow runner that we're like, you know, this may be worth something. We're in this name. And I liked it. We discussed why. I gave you the Big Bear AI case, which was a bull case, of course, for this last week. You guys asked me about it. We talked about it today with Palantir's, deal coming through and AI space, all the rage, right? I mean, Big Bear AI again, nice move up there. I think it's worth taking something out. So we did that right there at 685. 685. Out of Big Bear AI. I'm pretty happy about that. We did have a nice run back up on SoFi there, but again, we said that we were going to buy the 640 level. That is what we bought. It does come back up to 640, 1840. Here it comes. I'm at 50s, right? Am I not at 50s? Right? Oh, no, I'm not. Did we already fill it? No, we did not. I'm going to put an offer even right here. Oh, there it is. Let's take the 52s. Let's take the 53s. Oh, boy, Obi. This day right here, it's good. I'm happy with trading so far here today. It's been a relatively flat day because Amazon is not moving. I just keep getting out here at VWAP. top. Again, I like these trades to get out, but it's not like a huge day because this screwed me. Like we were long big, and then we got stopped out there. We went long big again, and now we're just, you know, making it back now on Amazon. So the other trades have been good, man. Google, very responsible for me to get out here. I feel like, again, you know, Obi talked about his bull case there as well, but that continued to fall. So eventually we both got out of that one. And then the other trade, of course, is just the futures. Bostic is speaking right now. Besant, like there's a lot of talk here, and the market's going to move like that. But technically, the market was sound today. We got to the bottom, like we broke down from VWAP right here. We broke down from VWAP right there. So, I mean, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Like, I don't have lines. There we go, the floor continuing to be worked on. That's tough to get that out, isn't that? Like, that is a B word coming out there, and it's not boombastic. That is, so I'm going to be, you know, maybe instead of going to the gym today, we'll get over there.
Help out in the back, yeah. Get some.
Normally, it's like a pile of, you know what, and I'm digging myself out of it. But right here, that looks like a much better. And you know what the thing about it is? It's nice and cool in here. It's not an outside kind of a job. But we want to say thank you so much for all the hard work that's being done back there. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Again, one of the hardest working people in the building for sure as of right now. SPY, man, I'm looking for a bounce, but these sellers are coming right back in, and I have a close eyes on the SPY because I'm like, usually I'm like, SPY is my compass, right? At the end of the day,
crushed.
yeah, everything is getting slammed into the downside here, so definitely got to watch out for that one. We looked like we were going to bounce.
Is expecting one cut only.
Yeah, so again, with Bostic talking, we definitely have to watch for that intraday volatility. Let's see what's going on with Adara.
Yeah, we do have some commentary coming in from Fed's Bostic saying that the Fed has the luxury to be patient and that the job market is solid. He also, in terms of with regards to him saying he wants one cut this year, that's not quite what he said. I just want to clarify. I guess talking about how many cuts he's saying, he said he's still there with regards to expecting one cut this year. So we know they usually don't give out and out projections. He's not out and out saying he's expecting one cut, but I guess it sounds like he's still within that ballpark of expecting one cut in 2025. He did talk a lot here about there's uncertainty over the outlook, though it's not necessarily purely driven by trade, and that people don't like it when monetary policy is volatile, so they should be a little bit slower and more patient here as we send you back to the guys.
Did buy on SoFi right there. Like, I don't even know. Like, this is what we're talking about, Obi. Like, you look for strong names, you try to stick with them right now, and boom goes the dynamite. Nice move to the upside right there, again, for SoFi. So, I mean, we talked about buying that level of 1840. I mean, we just dropped it down, looked for a level right there, and up goes that. So, nice move there on Big Bear AI, but nice move on SoFi as well as that continues its march higher. Let's go, Big Bear, man. There's some people asking me like for new price targets, because when it was down here at 350, I said price target $8 was where we would start to think about getting out. I still have to stick with that, man. I mean, that, like the move, it had like 3 basically nasty days off of that level. So I'm still expecting to get something in and around there for Big Bear AI. And if we can get $8, man, then maybe that's a spot where we think about getting out of half. So we've already got out of 10% there today. Let's see about getting out of half if and when those levels are taken. But yeah, it's SoFi. That's gone. And again, just trade your book, trade what you wanted to. We didn't notice SoFi until it was somebody in the chat. It did not make the book today, the sticky note, but it did make our P&L. And SoFi is actually my #1 stock today. Like the TQs is going to be close, but now we're pulling back a little bit. And Amazon, I don't. Like on that Bostic talk there about the 1 rate cut, like that kind of sent this, you know, reeling down there. But I'm just going to try to play again a name that I thought was strong and it's not. Like Amazon's down 1% as a lot of these mag names are getting hit. If we break through 221, man, I just got to say my bad. And this one not working out. We do have a big position now on Amazon, but we're only long at 221.50. So again, retracement back up would be real nice, but I played this one wrong. I don't want to be long names that are against the market. And I feel like I just looked at Amazon today with rose-colored glasses and probably should have got a little more aggressive getting out there at VWAP instead of waiting for that, that home run there on Amazon. So instead of, that, we do suffer that ill fate right here on AMZN. But on that note, I'm going to take out a little bit more here. If we could take there, I just took a 35 out because, again, realizing that it's easy to correct mistakes for small losses. The problem is that when it comes into your account and it's an oh boy moment and you're like, oh boy, what have I done? And I'm trying to avoid that. So if we can get out here before it breaks through 221, then that's what we're doing here for Amazon. So what's up, A?
Yeah, we're going to take a look here at the small cap recap. I apologize, I forgot to mention that. So let's take a look here at these small caps. IWM struggled with that 217.50 area on Friday. Now today on Monday, we didn't even get their pre-market, currently trading around 215.70. So some weakness here for the IWM, though we're still well away from Friday's lows around 214. Here's JOBY, Joby Aviation, announcing this morning they've completed a series of flight tests in Dubai, trading higher. These next two don't have a ton of volume. It was a bit of a lighter day for some of these small caps, as far as I could find. BZAI here getting some funding, or here securing $56 million in Edge AI deployment across Southeast Asia's smart infrastructure. So $56 million deal for BZAI. Then we have MDAI here, again, a little bit of a lighter volume play for today. Spectral AI, this one submitted de novo 510K marketing clearance application here to FDA for its Deep View system. Back to you.
Very much on that. Yeah, no, market's coming right back in. So SPY or tried to push that low a day right there. So watching that one real close. Palantir made it all the way back. So yeah, a little bit of a shake and bake within range. Only kind of ranging as of right now. So the question becomes, are we going to find buyers again in the low 136s? We're going to find the sellers at that 138. I attempted a bit of a push through that 138, did not work on that one there. Kind of patiently watching this this SPY to see if it kind of holds to stay low. 616s is prior day high, if you guys remember here. So let me pull that up and show you guys what I'm talking about as well. So going to a 15-minute, let's pull up the spider. Wow, Meta is just doing its own thing, man. So right here, so that 16 area, we're just holding that prior day's high. Specifically, that's sitting at 616.39. So this consolidation happening as of right now underneath VWAP. So going to be watching this one here, see if we can kind of find some sort of a bid. But if we're going to chop sideways at the beginning of a shortened week, I do want to stay a little bit patient here and wait to see if the bid actually does come in. And that's what I'll be watching for. And if it doesn't, I definitely have to do much better at respecting that there as well.
All right, we got another behind-the-scenes look at Trade the Pool, but this time we're diving into the community side of Trade the Pool. As you know, each trader gets his or her own hub, and inside you'll find Trade Talk, a powerful charting and analysis space where traders map out strategies, break down setups, and share predictions with the community. And if you're looking for real-time interactive, the Trade the Pool Discord is where you go to visit. It's full of active traders trading and sharing insights, trades, and tips to grow together. At Trade the Pool, you're not trading alone. You're joining a firm that invests in your growth, technically, mentally, and financially. Head to tradethepool.com and scan that QR code on your screen. We want to thank again Trade the Pool for sponsoring our segment here today. What's sponsoring my day so far has been SoFi. But again, we've been giving up too much money on Amazon because, trading some strength into SoFi, up 9%, dude. That makes sense. Good little rebound day there for SoFi as it's trying to come back in and up to that upside. So again, not bad. I like that play for sure. I don't mind the futures. We did buy back into some Amazon right now. So let's do a little bit more of that. We tried to buy the 221s. Again, we bought, lost, tried to buy it back up for that move higher. just definitely understanding that these futures, if we now lose that bottom, and I hate bottom picking all of this, but we were right there until one move there. Then we were right here, and then one move wipes it all out again. So I'm going to give it one more shot into there, not buy anything really until we get a little bit closer into that level. That's 220.75. That dropped down. So maybe into 221 again, we'll look to buy. But we just did add back there. So now let's give it a go here. As more news about Hassett, but I'm going to leave that to Adara. She's all over this. So if there is, yeah, exactly. If there's anything coming through, she'll be on that immediately. So that's going to be definitely a look here for the futures. And like SoFi is absolutely like, oh my, on SoFi. This name just keeps on ripping to the high side. And we're just going to be getting more and more out as this keeps happening for SoFi. We're long at 1840 right now. It's at 1885. Congratulations to all, man. I am long on SoFi here and in the PA. And I think that we should be getting something out in both cases here with SoFi. So, yeah, we're ready to go. Was that a call for Adara? Then let's go.
You have comments here coming from Kevin Hassett, who is a White House economic advisor here, of course, for President Donald Trump. None of these comments are super market moving, but one of them is actually pretty interesting. He's, I guess, saying that he and the administration support coal, natural gas, and nuclear for AI power. Take a look at some of these kind of nuclear adjacent plays. Here's CEG not doing anything. Some other nuclear plays like SMR. Last time I checked, we're also not doing anything. Here we are. Also, now he is the second member of the Trump administration this morning in the economic space to be asked whether or not he'd be Fed chair. Scott Bassett kind of skirted the question, saying that he has the best job in, I guess, Washington. White House senior advisor Kevin Hassett declining to comment. Both of these men were potentially in talks to be the new Fed chair, so neither of them actually acknowledging it, really. Also of note here, speaking of the Fed, Kevin Hassett did say that Donald Trump has, quote, strong views that the Fed could be lowering the interest rate. We already knew that. Back to you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, no, that SMR, that's a stock that I haven't really been taking a closer look at. But again, with some of the news that's been coming out over the past week or so, I think definitely one worth watching and seeing as it kind of builds up. Again, if you look at this one on a higher time frame, we've been kind of stepping up since the beginning of the year here. Sure, a little bit of a pullback, but yeah, that April bid that kind of brought the whole market relatively back to their all-time highs, pushing this one as well. 45.31's current highs on this one, but yeah, let's see if that can continue to hold. What is continuing to hold as of right now is that prior day high on the SPY. So again, I got that on watch, kind of looking to get more involved into that one if it shows me more of what I'm looking for here. So a little bit of a hold as of right now, but you can see this market's attempting to push a little bit higher, but a lot of these constituents not really showing the same kind of sentiment here. Palantir, oh boy, yeah, coming right back into the low of the range. We talk about it potentially being a double top right there, failure to follow through into that 138 level, and we're pulling back in. So now the question becomes, can we print some fresh lows? Can we get back below this day low of 136.11s for a bit of a continuation downside? Oh boy. So okay, so SPY coming back up right here. So hey yo, let's see if we can get that break of that consolidation. Let's go back to that chart right here, and let me show you what you guys I'll show you what you guys yeah,
show me what you're working with.
I'll show you guys what we're working with here. So this consolidation from off of the open here, just below that 617, we're pulling back up into it. So a little bit of a lick grab of the lows right there. 16 held pretty well as 615.93s is the day low as of right now, coming back into that VWAP. Let's see if we can get that continuation. So this is what I was watching for. Let's see if we can hold a prior day high on the SPY to give us a potential continuation coming into a shortened week. It seems like as of right now, sure, off of the open, we got some aggressive selling. But as of right now, maybe we're starting to get a little glimpse of some buyers here. And let's see, we got a little bit of a super chat here. So Timmy, thank you, Sean. That's what he said. He said, just want to say thank you, Sean. I bought BBAI at $3.50 when you mentioned it. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Timmy Tran. You know what? I mean, that $50 means a lot. You didn't have to contribute. That's a lot. Thank you so much for all of that. And I'm just glad. Like, look, man. I mean, people love Big Bear AI. I've been loving Big Bear AI. I know I got my guy Brian Shannon on Big Bear AI. Look at this thing. This breaks $7, man. We are really happy with this play. This is almost a double up there. It's a double up for you, almost for you too there. Timmy, so great job on that as we get going. I just got some out at 685, but what am I supposed to do? We put that order pending there. I don't like to, you know, run, like if I'm taking out some shares there, you know, I'll let it settle down for a couple minutes, then maybe start to trade it back again. But there goes Big Bear AI, and oh boy, as that was a nice one. And see, look, see what I'm saying about trying to stick with names, right? Like we just posted it up, and if you are looking for somewhere, and I know we don't have, you know, the posts as much on YouTube right now, but there's SoFi, man. We talked about, there's our TQQ bottom. We talked about this live on the air, buying SoFi at the 1850 break. So I did post it up there at Trader TV, Sean. I want to thank all 56,000 of you right there who are following. And then we just said, we're reloaded. Obi, tell me what movie this is from immediately.
Scarface.
Thank you. There it goes, man. There's SoFi. Nice move there to the upside on the reload. What a great trade that was, reloading that at that 1840 bottom right there. I know my guy Joseph is excited about that trade as well. But yeah, thanks for the nice comments on Big Bear AI, man. It's nice to get one right for everybody, and SoFi too, man. I mean, this is $19. I don't want to speak for Neil because he's not here, but I know that both he and I were looking to get something out there on SoFi. I'm not sure if did he mention anything on Friday?
About SoFi?
Yeah.
I think he may have.
Yeah, he may have.
It,
I'm only saying that because he and I are in very, very similar spots here for SoFi. So again, nice move up on the daily. I will be getting some out of SoFi here at 11 o'clock as we go for break and throw it over to the midday crew. JP Morgan, again, what the?
We'll wind up on that one.
Damn. Again, JP Morgan, man, wow. Huge move up. And we also stamped on Capital One this morning as well. So both names up 1+% right there as Amazon trying to join back into that club, but Amazon's been a tricky little one today for me, that is for sure. So yeah, not super happy with some of those dumps in Amazon, but again, trying to learn our lesson, man. We're right back to the 50-period moving average, and we're still doing that, man. I hope you guys are enjoying the show as I fill in for Neil today. So far, so good as we go. But yeah, all right, let's go back either over to Obi. Yeah. Oh, you're in no position, so okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not showing them right now, but I have a little bit of a SPY long on and Palantir as well. But we can talk about those right after we get back from Adara with crypto.
Just be aware here, Tempest AI on watch. Banyan Hill, which I guess market-related publication, saying that that's a long idea for them. Here is BTC, which is the point of this crypto segment. So making them lower highs and lower lows. I mean, today, we're currently bearish engulfing here for that entire action we had yesterday, making a high of day here around that 108.7 right now, trading around 107.3. Let's see if we're able to kind of pick a direction. If we break below this previous support around 106, it's been a pretty key level. That could be a bit of a trouble area, but let's see if BTC can bounce from that level, because right now it looks like we're at a bit of an indecision point. Bitcoin, like I said, slightly down in the day. Ethereum holding on to that 2,400 level quite nicely. BNB, Solana, Cardano, Dogecoin, all up or down very slightly on the day. So not a ton of excitement as far as these other coins or entities are concerned, guys. Back to you.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely ones to watch out for here on the day. And Palantir is what I'm watching out for as of right now. So let's take a talk on that one, like I said. So SPY holding that 616 as of right now. So holding on to that one. Let's see if that one can come into fruition there. Day low, 615.93. And then Palantir, again, we kind of talk about this being a little bit in range. So I did get, I want to try a little bit of a hold of a lower high here. Double top here, holding the lows right there. So VWAP, let's see if sellers can kind of come in here. Again, showing us that this level right here, that 138 from prior day, where that aggressive selling came in via imbalances, holding a little bit as a resistance on the day as well. Sure, we got a little bit above that 138.50s, but again, a little wiki action there, even though it's letting us get through some of those prices. So we'll wait and see what's in store for us there. But yeah, no, Microsoft aggressive to the downside. So you can see things are looking distinctly different here when it comes to the Mag 7. Not everything looking in step, but overall general sentiment seems like sellers are in charge as of right now. This is softy. Let's go through all of them right here. Apple as well. Google still trading at its lows. Oh boy, definitely was wrong on that one there as we were coming back into 176s. Amazon as well. And then Tesla still chopping sideways, so nothing too crazy. And of course, NVIDIA still trying to bounce, but holding that VWAP pretty well as of right now. So that's what we got going on there. But guess what we got going on with our friends at eSignal. So new traders, listen up. First month, free. That's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Elite, upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out and execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description, guys. Thank you very much. But yeah, this market, you see that selling coming in to the market. So look at that. NVIDIA distinctly different here. But dude, this thing, I was so wrong on this. Like, look at it. It's still, yeah, exactly. It was literally my top idea, and I'm spending so much risk on it, just being like, all right, I'm looking for this to work. But clearly, it's showing me that the long is not there at all. VWAP sellers coming in, consolidation breakdowns, reference price breakdowns here as well. Maybe we get it all the way back in to some levels from last week. Let's see that anchored VWAP thrown onto the imbalance candle right there. Let's throw that on. That is where that volume comes in. You can see that, okay, we did consolidate there for a little bit. That's that green line right here. If you come to my chart, you'll see that 177.80s right here holding. But 176 is, I don't think it's on my chart here, but 176 is, look at this flush coming in on Google. Let's see what Adara has to say.
Here's a look at this market pushing lower. It is worth noting Kevin Hassett now saying in a Fox News interview that is, of course, the White House senior economic advisor, that the White House will restart negotiations immediately with Canada after Canada removed its digital service tax or announced they were going to be implementing that. We know that the reason that implementation, was the reason that the U.S. said they were going to be calling off trade negotiations with Canada, so it looks like those will be restarted. Now we do have White House senior advisor Kevin Hassett saying that Japan and EU might have some issues with trade if their digital taxes remain. He previously said earlier today that any country with digital taxes could be facing the wrath of the U.S. So be aware here, they're certainly not pro these digital taxes. Here's the market right now. A little bit of support, still finding here around 549 halves. Back to you.
The wrath right there. I thought it was well played by Carney, man. I mean, it's kind of like, I feel like he knew that this was going to be a problem and it wasn't that big of a deal for us. So it's like dangle it there, then we cut it back, and then that's shown as like a olive branch, right? And so I don't know. We'll see how that all pairs off.
Part of the deal.
Yeah, exactly. My understanding, I mean, we really like Mark Carney here, and I think that he's going to be good for Canada, and I think that could essentially be good for the United States and for both of us. I mean, I think the United States and Donald Trump, and they want to get a deal done with everybody. I mean, that was the whole point of all of this. So let's hope that is a sort of a bridge now that's been taken and crossed, and we'll wait to see if there's any sort of a pushback on that one. Okay, here we go. Let's all answer this together. Okay, everybody, let's do this together. How do you primarily make your trading decisions? Okay, wow. There is a lot of options here that I like right now based on chart thing is, if you have like an option that says like a combination of these, then I think everyone chooses that, right?
Exactly.
So
that's what I was looking for.
I'm going to say right now, based on news and company health, okay? And the reason why is because obviously we talk about chart patterns and, you know, but when I look at the initial trades that I'm thinking about, I'm always trying to think about what is the catalyst behind it first, and then I go to chart patterns. So I'm going to say, so it's primarily on chart patterns, so I guess that would be the right answer. But just for now, I'm going to switch it up a little bit and go on news and company health, because I just feel like the health part maybe not as much. I don't look at macro as much. It's more just like, you know, when you get that sort of bump up in a stock due to something, right? And I just, when I'm looking at the trade ideas today, you know, we had that Disney break of the top of the chart. So that would have been a chart-based play, right? You have other plays like a Palantir that came out with that new deal there. Again, another signing, I think, with the air defense. Accenture, thank you so much there, Adara. So that's another story that comes through, right? And I just think that gets you looking at the stock. Yeah. And then part two is the chart. But there are a lot of traders, and we talked about that with Michael Noss. Oh boy, we are making some money back now, boy, as AMD, as Amazon. What the? I haven't said one chip name.
No, NVIDIA, like
today.
it's not,
I haven't even mentioned NVIDIA. We just mentioned AMD, and AMD was such a hot fire name from last week that, again, that's like, again, another name that was getting upgraded last week. We punched this 120 in the mouth last week. We had really hit this, and we had not even mentioned a name in the space here today. We had Michael Noss came through again. Michael Noss is one of those guys where you don't say his name without the full name. You ever notice that? You know, like we always talk about. Anyways,
no, I think
so shout out to
Michael just sounds so
shout
casual.
out to who? Michael Noss, again from Stats Edge. But here we go, man. It's SoFi Boomalicious. It is Amazon really starting to break a little bit higher right now. And there we go. So yeah, for me, for that poll, I would do news. And then part of it too is intuition. Like, you know, this Amazon trade, we've been getting sort of wrecked in it there today, but able to just stick with the flow, you know, make nice trade there, wrecked. Make nice trade there, wrecked. Makes nice trade here. Uh-oh. What does that mean coming up? It's a sector watch or something with Adara.
There's actually some strength here. We know finance was going to be on watch anyway. JP Morgan up almost 1.5%. We know these banks are passing their stress test that was announced on Friday. Health technology has some strength. AbbVie and Eli Lilly both looking particularly strong here, two of the largest names in the sector. Consumer services good, led, of course, by Disney. Producer manufacturing with some strength. Communications with some strength. Transportation also having a little bit of green here. Now let's talk about the groups that do not look as promising. Consumer non-durables, PG to the downside. Nike, I believe this is Nike here, also pushing lower on day two. Earnings, consumer durables weak across the board, retail trade and energy minerals with some red. Utilities, NEE, Next Era Energy down here about almost 5%. Now let's talk about these tech sectors. Oracle trading near day's highs or all-time highs. Sorry, ORCL, of course, really strong today. Palantir up about 5%, bouncing nicely after that imbalance sell-off on Friday evening. But Google actually to the downside despite a couple positive catalysts. Meta green, Broadcom green. So these tech sectors just as mixed as the rest of the market today. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Dara. Yeah, no, it seems like we were talking about that bank strength in the morning during the list there, and it seems like that's one of the strongest sectors as of right now there. So thank you, Adara, for bringing that into us here. 616 once again reclaiming here on SPY, but can't really catch a strong bid anywhere really that I'm watching. But Sean mentioned that, yeah, we haven't really said any sort of semiconductor name just yet. And I looked at my basket here of potential semiconductors, and guess what? There is a name, Sean, that is running much better than the rest of them, and that's SMCI. SMCI breaking that $50 mark, kind of revisiting some of the levels that we saw Friday pre-market. That was 50.65. Today we only got up to 50.54, but again, holding this trend pretty pretty well here on SMCI. So again, there is a chip name that is probably worth mentioning here, and SMCI seems to be the one. NVIDIA, nothing too crazy. Again, trying to bounce. We got that reversion to VWAP, but as of right now, that was only a distance of about $1 and some change right there. So nothing too crazy. ARM I like to watch as well. You can see more of the same, just chop to the downside here. SMH, again, for those of you who are looking just to kind of maybe take on the whole sector right here, you can see that's been holding a little bit better, looking similar to that of NVIDIA here. And AMD, yeah, AMD, I know Sean just looked at it, kind of similar, bouncing back, holding that VWAP as of right now. So let's see if that'll come into fruition. TSM, we know this name was on watch last week, being a little bit in play. Look at that pre-market and relative volume coming in as well, and a nice little grab of liquidity right off of the open there from some of those prior highs, and then flushing right back into the lower end of that range. Just comparing it to Friday, right? Friday, we kind of held prior day's highs, kind of range a little bit, 1, 2, 3 legs, which were pretty much sideways, and we're still trading well within that range as of right now on SM. DreamCap saying SoFi running over. I don't know about that. Tesla short is really shaky. Yeah, Tesla is one of the only Mag 7s that is as choppy as it is. A lot of them being directional or maybe doing some dead cat bounces off of the selling in the morning. But Tesla held its own pretty well and giving us that sideways chop. I always say this is one of the stocks in the market that is definitely a little crowded, definitely a little competitive. And that's definitely something you have to keep in mind when you are trading Tesla as well. Try to find those specific moments where you really do think and believe, and maybe have the stats to back it in terms of a follow through or some sort of edge in and around that price action. But Tesla definitely got to compensate for the chop on that one. Well, so another name we were looking at was Circle. Circle not really doing anything too much. We had that shake and bake off open. Guess what? We're still trading within that range as of right now. Hertz Scrambler saying WFF. Did you see this one? This one, I remember pulling it up on Friday, and I was like, wow, this is absolutely crazy. This stock, Sean, was trading in the morning session on Friday in and around $7, and it hits a high of 29. And then gives it all back and then some, getting that follow through coming in today. So this was absolutely crazy. Primary example potentially of a liquidity trap that does kind of go parabolic and exhaust on the same day. So again, wasn't really on my book to trade, but I feel like there were definitely some opportunities here. Just looking back at it in retrospect, even the day 2 of that push is coming in pretty nicely as of right now as well. We'll wait and see what that'll have in store for us, but that's what I got watching on the markets here. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Apple saying, ouch. Okay, so let's take a look at what Apple's doing. If it's doing, oh, wow, okay, well, yeah, that's a little aggressive there. Some expanding volume coming into that selling on Apple. Let's see. Yeah, breaking almost into prior day's lows, so maybe makes sense kind of coming into some of those levels to show up some volume on the chart as well. So 200 on Apple as of right now, day low, 199.94. We keep on seeing this. Every time Apple has gotten into 200 over the past couple of weeks, it's a bit of a failure to follow through. Sure, the lowest extension is down to 198.97, but you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days holding pretty well within this range. Are we going to do more of the same? I'll be watching Apple at the low of this range, maybe to see if we can catch a bid anywhere, not only on Apple, but across the market as well, Sean.
I'm just gonna have a quick little look here to see what's going on right here, because in the chat and in our on our page right now, 1.2K likes, over 8,000 of you watching. So let's see if we can. If you haven't hit it yet, let's see if we can get to 2,000 likes there today. I think we've been doing well, man. We've been talking some Big Bear AI. We got a great super chat. We want to definitely thank you again and again right here for Timmy Tran, because he was talking about Big Bear AI when I was mentioning it at 350. Man, I wish that was my average price right there. But thank you so much for that. And thank you to everybody for watching. We're talking about some SoFi here today as well. Obviously, been doing a lot of different names. So let's see if we can get that just a little spiked. There would be nice Again, don't have to, but that would be nice for us. Get that algorithm sort of kicking in our favor. So, hit the like, hit the subscribe if you can do that. That would be great. Maybe I can check back in a couple minutes and we'll see where we are with that number. But, thanks to everybody for joining the stream here again today. This is a green polo here, so I was trying to manifest this, but I guess doesn't work as much for me as it's been doing for Adara there. But we had a great move up on Big Bear AI and everything like that as we continue to make new moves. We do have, was he just pointing to that thing at the bottom there? Because we do have that, I just noticed at the bottom, we've had it for a while on the bottom of our stream, SOL, Solana, some different crypto, with the symbols going on there. XRP is on there as well. So shout out to Fabian and all that, really working on the stream and giving, many more options for everybody to look at and make this visually more appealing than just looking at me. So shout out to everybody there for working, and especially Fabian, working on all of that. And I know on the midday show, he sort of made it a little bit easier to get those votes going through, and that's fun. That's been really fun to watch that happen as well. So in just a matter of 8 minutes, we'll be joining Joe and Sharif here on the midday. And Big Bear AI right now, there it goes, man. Let's go. Like, if you guys aren't hitting the like button, we talked about this for a while. We really appreciate Big Bear AI, and it's been a nice move up, that is for sure. So again, thanks everybody for being here with us. We really enjoy putting this on, and there goes Big Bear AI looking like a fool getting out of that at 675 or wherever we did. But again, 685, sorry. But thank you so much for that. We got a 10%, man. We're still rolling 90 deep on that, so that's going to be a good trade there. And then SoFi, we're going to go to Darren momentarily. SoFi also trying to make some moves here as we got nice pieces out there in and around 1890. That's SOF to the I. What's up, Adara?
It is time, as it always is around this time of day, to take a look at the US dollar. And right now, I mean, this is on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going on 6-day losing streak for the DXY. Not only that, apparently the US dollar is actually on track for its worst first half of the year in decades, apparently roughly 40 years. Depends on what index you look at, of course, because of the dollar index. So we do have the ICE dollar index down over 10% in 2025. The Wall Street Journal's dollar index down about 8% for its worst first half performance since 2002. So lots of concerns here with the US dollar. We've had some interesting comments coming from Fed's Bostic this morning on a day that's been pretty light in terms of economic data. Fed's Bostic says that the Fed shouldn't have to raise rates, which is good at least, but he's saying he's not expecting a cut, maybe only one cut this year. He said he's still there with regards to expecting one rate cut. Next year, he's penciled in about 3 rate cuts in the year or so. His expectations are a little bit lower than what we're seeing from some of these other members of the Fed. He also talked about some of this criticism of the Fed as of late, particularly from the U.S. administration, saying that it's normal for the Fed to be criticized and that it has to stay focused on its mission. Also, it's worth noting here, no huge changes for that CME Fed Watch tool, but we do still have 74% of participants expecting a cut in September. In July, still about 80% of participants expecting a hold. Back to you.
All right, thank you for that one, Adara. Okay, well, you're in a bunch of stuff, man. Long SPY, long Apple.
This Apple is getting
Palantir.
slammed here.
Apple's still getting slammed?
Apple's getting slammed pretty aggressively here. So again, we kind of talked about this lower end of the range. That's the 199.46, so creeping up into that one here. But yeah, market's not really getting anywhere too fast, but Apple to the downside is pretty aggressive as of right now. So let's see if that can hold any of these prior levels here. But no real sign of a bid showing up just yet. So I am definitely a little bit on the front side of the move there on Apple, and there goes the SPY as well. So SPY kind of cracking as well. So yeah, it does seem like Sean, it's sellers who are in charge on majority of these names here, except for a select few that may be pretty well or relatively well compared to others. So let's take a quick look. I know we only have a few more minutes left. So let's see what has actually done some volume here on the day. We know that BBAI definitely, wow, look at BBAI, dude, $7. So you got that fill that you were talking about, that 675, definitely coming in really nicely. So aggressive push on BBAI. SoFi as well, looking similar. We saw NVIDIA not really getting anywhere too fast. BMNR, okay. ByteMine Immersion Technologies, financial conglomerates. So interesting push on that one there. What's the market cap? $27 million. IPDN, nothing too crazy here. Palantir, we're getting involved in this one as well. You can see still holding that range pretty well. We buy. It seems like nobody's buying this one today as sellers continue.
It was up huge.
Continue to push it down. Yeah, it was up to $12, Sean, in the pre-market, almost 100, well, over 100% push right there in the pre-market, but giving it all back as of right now. So buying not really sustained on that one. Joby, oh boy, that thing holding that $10 level and pushing aggressively as well. So some fresh highs happening on Joby. So Lucid, we know that. Again, Lucid's been on the top volume leaders for multiple weeks on end. It doesn't necessarily seem to do any crazy moves, but I guess it's churning volume, which is interesting to me. Soundhound as well coming up back to the upside here. QuantumScape, we know that had news last week and some aggressive moves, but it seems like nothing as aggressive as of right now. So Apple's holding up pretty well here on top of that 99.5. Let's see if we get that continuation to the upside. 99.40s was that prior low, so we can give it to there, or I'm going to give it to there and see and let that one potentially work here. But that 200 on Apple, man, that's been kind of churning and chopping for the past couple of weeks. Let's see if we do more of the same, and then let's see if we can revisit some of those range highs as well. That's what I'll be watching for.
Yeah, we're going to get out of here soon. We're going to go for a little bit of a swim and everything like that. So just a couple minutes, we'll be passing it over to the midday show. And I just want to say, like, I've been sort of ignoring this futures position. And it's not the futures. I know people are like, that's not futures, it's TQQs. And I understand that. But it's exactly what we're doing right here. And it's pretty much barcoding. So I do now have an offer to get out of just a little bit more, and then we'll hold 20%. So I'm at 82.30. We got missed when it came up there. That's right where the 50-period moving average is. It was actually at 33s. We were sitting there, and I moved it down a little bit into 30. So hopefully we can get a fill in the next couple minutes as we start to rip up. But let's just talk about right now what's for lunch, because today it's an interesting one. We've had some of these today, some the other way around, but it's going to be chicken here today to start the week. Shortened week again, 3.5 trading days, because Thursday is a half day. So on that one, get your golf or whatever you do, get your reservations ASAP, because I think it's going to be beautiful in and around these parts. It is chicken adobo. Okay. So you may be asking yourself, what is chicken adobo? You don't know, not asking that?
I've heard of it.
Okay,
but,
okay.
Yeah.
It's a popular Filipino dish where chicken is braised in a sauce, a soy sauce, garlic, bay leaves, and black peppercorns. It's like a braised Filipino chicken, is what they're saying. And as I look here, this is what we're looking at as far as images are concerned here on Google. So it looks pretty good. What's up, Andre? Google Images right here. So it just looks pretty tasty. We'll see what ours looks like there today as well. But chicken adobo is going down around these spots. And then I actually closed the rest of it. Notice steamed jasmine rice, steamed broccoli, so the steamer is working, so that's great, we know that. And then a chef's choice salad, which the chef's choice lately has been basically, you know, iceberg lettuce with shaved carrots. So hopefully there's going to be a little bit more added onto that one, but it's been good times around here. And of course, I just have the salad with a topper, and generally speaking, it probably, hopefully it will be that adobo chicken. Because
I'm happy about the fruit bowl today.
Was this all cantaloupe?
No, but there was pineapples in there as well.
So pineapples and cantaloupe is good for you. Yes.
No, but here's what I was saying.
Yes.
I know there might be a rumor going around about how much I like my pineapples.
Is there a rumor?
What I noticed was after that came into public knowledge, pineapples disappeared from the fruit bowl for at least 2 weeks. Did you notice this, Sharif? Where have the pineapples gone?
I think you're the only one noticing that, but that is
attention to detail.
Why?
I don't know.
What do you mean you made it public? Like what was
No,
that?
so I was called out for maybe lick grabbing all of the pineapples in the morning, and I was like, that definitely wasn't me. I do like a lot more pineapples than anything else. But yeah, that was definitely fake news. And after that came onto the show, after I was like, all right, well let's observe. And every single day, even though pineapples have been consistently involved majority of the days, we went on like a whole 1 week bender of not having pineapples. I was like, what is going on?
And
I don't know. Tinfoil hat, tinfoil suit. I have no idea. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure as
pineapple double top saying saying Mr. Scientific.
Yeah, there's a double top there. So congratulations on getting your pineapple back into
I noticed some pattern.
that belly. Okay, thank you so much again, everybody, for watching, joining today as well. And thank you for 1.5K on the likes. We're happy with that. So thank you so much for that. As we transfer over 7,600 of you stayed with Obi and I. So thank you so much for all of that. And, you know, I've still got a lot of these trades on. I think we've done a great job explaining them all. Congratulations to Big Bear holders as well today, as that seems to be ripping up. We didn't even talk about quantum. We didn't talk about nuclear. We didn't talk about chips, and we still had a bang-up show. So thank you so much, Obi, for that one. We'll be back at 2 p.m. So for Obi, I'm Sean. Thank you, Adara, for everything. Thank you, Andre, today. Fabian for all the cool work he's been doing as well, and Ramin there, and Brendo for the opening part of the show. All right, we're off. Gonna phone the wife, see if the kids got off okay there, and we will talk over, we'll throw it over to Sharif and Joe. It's the midday show coming at you right now.